I started an impossible rebuild series with UMass, the worst college football team. We face 10 top 25 opponents a season. We can only recruit in the northeast part of the US. The sliders make the hardest difficulty unbearable, and I'm not good at the game, so saving this university seems to be impossible. Heading into season 2, UMass hasn't won a football game in over 2 years, and we have position groups like our corners and our safeties that are about to get shredded all season. My only goal as I play through all of year 2 in this video is to win just one game, which we couldn't make happen last season, but quarterback Zach Lawrence is now a sophomore as a 74 overall. We used the transfer portal to bring in some studs to help out Brandon Hood. Last season, he was able to rush for 1,460 yards and 12 touchdowns, but that was still not enough for the Minutemen to pick up a win. The junior is going to look to continue to carry us. And just keep in mind, he had a game where he rushed for 247 yards last season, and we still lost. Opening up this year, we go to Ohio State, which is terrible news, but at least in recruiting, we do have some cornerbacks that we can target, which is new since we're recruiting in just the Northwest region. A guy like Devin Culliver didn't exist last season. In fact, there was only one 3-star corner we could have even targeted, which was a similar problem we ran into at the quarterback position. There just weren't many guys for us to go after. 2- and 1-star quarterbacks is what we were looking at. This year, we have 2 3-stars we could choose between. Even though Glenn Adams is a bust, he has a stronger arm, so I want him. The only problem with that is so does Boston College, who is a tier 4 pipeline. Some of the best players we could have recruited out of the Northeast regions, I just accepted we probably wouldn't land, though we could have competed with Stanford for that 5-star linebacker if we put ours in from the start. At least I just want to assume that we could. If I just show you all these school grades, you're going to be embarrassed. We really don't have much going for us. Again, this schedule is just going to be brutal with 10 top 25 opponents. That game against Boston College in week 3, though, it intrigues me because even though I don't think we're about to upset the Buckeyes in their own stadium, I feel like we could pick up a win against the Eagles. I've truly been so excited to get back to filming this dynasty just because of how big of a challenge it is to fix the University of Massachusetts. The restrictions we've placed on ourselves have not been easy, but we want to keep things kind of realistic, and I think that transfer is going to make the biggest difference. The senior receiver might make it to where we don't only have to run the football to have success. What we learned last year was Brandon Hood can carry us for a little bit, but eventually he is going to get tired. Rushing to the outside, we might not have the first. But I'm not kidding. We are so used to our whole offense just being him that we're going straight back 3 plays in a row. Did he get it? Nope. Just like the computer would punt in this situation as a 4th and inches, we're going to go ahead and kick it back to Ohio State. It's not the start to this game that we were hoping for, though. I'll take a bounce like that. And we know Jeremiah Smith went on to the NFL. It looks like Julian Sayin did too. It makes me feel a little bit better that their feature player is a running back. We'll see how the Buckeyes dice up our defense here. Not breaking that tackle. I do think man-to-man coverage could be a massive mistake for us, though, and we got to get out of that immediately. Okay, can somebody please catch this kid? We're just bringing him down at the 3. I know our defensive back situation is really rough, but you all heard me. I could not recruit defensive backs last year. So yes, man-to-man coverage will never happen again this year. That was way too fast for them to score. We're going to hit a wide receiver screen out to Cam Locke. He is a transfer too. The freshman isn't the fastest, but he does have potential. And look at this hole for Brandon Hood. I'd like to get Abdul Rahim Glading a touch, though, because he's our best receiver. He didn't really do much there. Now we're looking underneath for a drag route. Cam Locke hangs on to the football. He turns up field, and we might have an issue. I would love to audible to a run here, but it's not going to let me. I don't even know what play we're running. We're going to look short. Can Cam Locke hang on? He does. So far, he is turning into our number 1 receiver. We have to go for it on 4th and 1 on this side of midfield. Stay in this game. Brandon Hood gets it. And it's actually nice that we have multiple parts of this offense that are going to be around for more years. He is just a junior. Our quarterback, Zach Lawrence, is just a sophomore, and everything was boxed. I'm going to be honest, I feel like Ohio State knows that we're doing a toss play to the right side of the field. They got so many guys over there. But what can Brandon Hood do with it? He has to make somebody miss, and he's going to reach out. That is just enough to get us the first down. I can already see his wear and tear health, though, starting to go down. It's going to be a problem this year. We probably need to adjust some of the settings so he's not on the field as much as he is, since we have a competent backup. Jones could prove to be our most useful signing in the portal. Only if he isn't blind, though, because that was not working. I'll also say, wearing the Marcus Mariota jersey today, we're honoring him. Not that he has any specific ties to UMass or anything. I just walked in my closet. I saw the pink Oregon jersey. I said, that's sick. I haven't worn it in a bit. So I threw it on for this video. 3rd and 15. That's going to be picked, isn't it? We should have tried to at least get a field goal out of this drive instead of forcing it. I'm already getting upset with Zach Lawrence. He has to know better than to throw it there. Though I am excited on defense to use Enrique Cush. He was a 4-star linebacker, the only 4-star we signed last season. The idea is he is going to help us a good bit. Stuck on the defensive line. We're putting in for and there's just not any quick pressure. For us to make Mason uncomfortable back there, we're just going to send 7 players, but he had a quick read dial. And this is what matters. 3rd and 2, Humphries can't fill the hole. Do they have the first? They don't. And instead of going for it, the Buckeyes are just settling for a field goal. There's no guarantees their kicker can even drill this. To be fair, though, this is a video game, so they're actually able to connect there. Speed option. We're going to pitch it, and it looks like it's not going far. I really don't like Brandon Hood is already down -3 speed. Doesn't seem to matter on that one. But throughout the course of this game, he's going to continue to get more and more tired. Detrell Jones didn't do much for us on that play, though. Absolutely no way we got open. Not a great sign out of our man-beating route. 3rd and 8. We're going to stand tall in the pocket, and we're going to try and take off with Zach Lawrence. I didn't mean to throw it. It is going to force us, though, to have to punt now. Our biggest problem from last season, I would say, was our offense. Defensively, we actually came away with more stops than you'd think. But offensively, we just couldn't keep up with the teams that we were facing at all. I can already tell that even any coverage that has match principles isn't going to be good. Shout out to Enrique Cush, though, for making that tackle. He evidently got tired on the play because he's not even out there for the 2nd and 10. No way they get to the first. And this could be a statement stop for us. 3rd down. Hitch isn't there, but they split the seams. It's dropped. And this is just not the same Ohio State that we faced last year. They were tough. Detrell Jones, do not touch that football. Here we go. We need to lock in. We're going to hand this one off. We're going to get about 8 on the ground. And speaking of locking in, we are going to watch Cam lock on this play. We might just need to go underneath. We have our 5-star recruit. Yes, we were able to sign a 5-star at UMass, Bryce Kroom. He was from the Northeast region, so it made some sense. But he's going to have to develop. He has normal development, not a good trait for him. He has like 85 speed. So here we go. 3rd and 4, looking to convert. 2 guys in our face. It's just not going to work out well when there's only one route we're relying on getting open, and we're not able to do so. Though the punt might be the best one we've seen. Pinning Ohio State inside the 5-yard line, they're most likely just going to run it 3 straight times. If we can stop them, we'll get it back. And for whatever reason, they have helped us by calling a timeout. Just a quick throw, 2nd down, they got it. The Buckeyes are still going to be smart here, though. They're just taking things to the half. They got play action. We're going to get our sack. And even though I was sitting here dissing our defensive back group, I feel like our defense has taken a step up from what it was last year. There's still a whole other half of football to play, so that could change. But they don't even have a positive rushing yard against us, breaking that first tackle. We know what kick returns can do. I really don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen season 1, but it was brutal. It was the worst ending you could ever imagine. I think we can leave it there. 2nd and 3, Enrique Cush is probably going to have to make a play, though they got him biting down just to throw the football. Could it be a pick for us? No. Quincy Porter is still with the team. He was one of their better players last year, but he was the 3rd receiver. Now he's the number 1. So he's had to take on that role. And we got in there with gold, but we just weren't able to bring him down. We're not getting gashed here. We're not. Before the game, it said Matt Canady was Ohio State's best offensive player, and we hadn't seen anything from him. But he's also gotten almost no carries, which hasn't made sense considering Ohio State should be able to run on us. Great play from Darian Humphries, though, the freshman free safety. It looks like we have a chance at an interception, but we give up the touchdown. And if we could have just held Ohio State to 3, we'd be in such a better spot. No matter what, we have got to come away with points on this drive. Nat, we also picked up out of the portal. He fumbles it, and they scoop it up. So what do you think is going to happen the rest of this game? You think that UMass stands a chance at picking up their first win? Not if we're not able to make any tackles. You can see it, though. What we train our players to do here is torpedo tackles. We want them just flying at the ball. We have them throwing their entire body on the line, trying to stop the momentum that anyone could have. Underneath isn't there. And I'm still liking what I'm seeing on defense. We've held the Buckeyes to just 17. When we have to play Boston College for our 3rd game, I feel like we'll come out strong enough defensively that we could win. I'm just not so sure what our wear and tear and health is going to look like. I'm really concerned Brandon Hood isn't going to be able to take the same amount that he took last year, and I decided to start tight end Brian Knapp because he was supposed to catch better than our freshman tight end we used all of last year, OG, but I might have to put him back in the game. It's going to be 4th and 5. Well, then it's simple. We're going for it. We're at about midfield. We got our slant out quick, and that's it. I don't care how much better Brian is on paper. He is not going to play over Matthew Oganaye. Can you see why we call him OG? Now, it's just easier to say that. Read option is going to get us for a decent bit here. We're getting trucked. And I've about reached the point where I've decided this one's over, but I have to see if we can still get a stop. What is this tackling? It's not looking good. They're going to continue to get firsts. But maybe headed into the 4th quarter, we can get that red zone stand. To keep it a 3-possession game, we're going to need it. They run it straight up the middle. No one is there. And we're just coming out with Zach Lawrence, hoping that we can somehow throw the football for anything. We do have OG back in the game, which is helpful because he should get open here. If they're so focused on him, Locke will get open underneath. That is now his 5th reception, but he only has 21 receiving yards. We got a tight end screen coming. Not much. But maybe we have speed on the outside. I can't remember how fast Abdul is over there. It's worth it for Zach Lawrence to just throw it up and hope for the best. That type of catch is going to give us our opportunity to reach the end zone. And here we go. Very important 2-point conversion. Are they going to stick with the drag? They don't. I don't know if it's worth it to just kick it back to the Buckeyes and hope we force a 3 now, or if we should have gone for the onside kick. But there was still about 6 minutes left in this game. And it's not over. That's the most important part. This game is not over, though. We had left them wide open down the field. We're actually very lucky that he didn't see it. Are we about to give up like a 50-yard run to this quarterback? Mason Heightshell is just torching us on the ground now. I didn't think he was this good of a runner, but he's about to go all the way. So we have a quarterback spy out there on the field in case he decides to take off for this play. He's so open. There's a lot we can learn at the end of this game, though. Mainly, how to avoid pressure. I was actually excited to see if we could throw that football up, but we didn't even make it there. The freshman catches it. And I will admit, I don't like that Bryce Kroom could be blocking on this bubble screen. Not that we're going to throw it. Now it's 4th and 4. We got the quick out route. We didn't take it. We're going to look underneath, and it's off target. Kenyon Massey comes in for one play, and we can't even hit him. He was a decent role player for us last season. That's another touchdown. And I've not given up. We are still trying to score more points at the very end. We're just not getting open. Like at all. Bryce Kroom, you're a 5-star. You got to be able to get some separation. I just feel like this final score doesn't tell the full story. We were more competitive than that. Maybe I'm just delusional, though. It's about time that we clean up our board and decide who we're actually going to put ours into. I still have this weird urge to waste most of our points on Cardell Hedgie, but I'm also putting ours into 2 4-star receivers. They're both from New Jersey as elusive route runners. We should decide on one. If we go to the bottom of our board, there truly just aren't that many guys that we're going to be recruiting out of our pipelines. We might have to get really lucky in the transfer portal. I am excited, though, that we can fill some of our team needs at the defensive back positions. Alabama's a 97 overall. That doesn't make me feel amazing, but again, we're looking forward to Boston College next week anyway. I think the best way to describe this game is we're just trying to survive. Where the Crimson Tide have Austin Mack at quarterback. He is going to be very experienced, which isn't a great sign for us. I forgot to look at Alabama's roster before this game as well. We know that they're way better, but I didn't even get to compare ours to theirs. We'll do it against Boston College next week. Quarters coverage actually worked decent. Caleb Edwards already has 2 catches. I can tell that he's Austin Mack's favorite receiver, though it's just the speed that is going to crush us. And truly, what can we do about it? We're watching the drag underneath. We need him to force it near our window. There was no way we were about to get hands on that football, though. What a tackle. Okay, so clearly Alabama's coming out a little bit better than Ohio State. They want to beat us by 50. And my response to that is at least allow us to pick up the first down before. It's pretty obvious what direction this game is going in, so unless our defense just comes out and makes a stand, we're going to lose by 50 like I'm predicting. And you've heard of teams looking ahead to the next week on a game that they are really looking forward to, like a rivalry, and then losing. How about teams looking ahead, all because they think it's one of their only chances at picking up a win and just getting thrashed the week before? Because that feels like what is going on right now. We just gave up another 15. And our cover 3 looks are not as effective as they were last season. Let's be fair, though. We did lose some of our defensive back talent to graduation. They didn't transfer on us. They just had to graduate at some point. No waivers for them. But this is what we need. A 3rd and 3 stop. Looks like Austin Mack's going to get it out as quick as he could. That is now 6 first downs for the Crimson Tide. No wonder I just feel hopeless. We haven't even been able to pick up one yet. Play action is going to lead to 10 more. And from what I have seen so far, nobody can even play their coverage correctly. The only way this isn't going to be a massive mistake is if they would have gone with like a bubble screen to the left side of the field, but no, it's just Austin Mack running over our defenders on the right side. And the stadium pulse is only going to make things worse for us. If we're going to pull anything off, we're going to have to get gimmicky and we're going to have to get lucky really quick. Are they going to commit to stopping the run there? No. We just got to throw that one at the last second. It was actually a great catch out of Nat as well. It doesn't matter. He is still going to be our backup tight end, and Zach Lawrence saw the space. This is actually where I want to give Abdul a chance to bring it in. I was throwing it, He didn't get it out. I figure he might just torch them deep, and it will surprise them because they won't expect us to throw for 50 yards against the Crimson Tide, but it didn't matter. It is now 3rd and 29. I have almost no hope. Bryce Kroom can't catch, but I gave him his opportunity to prove himself there. And we might just be dealing with a 5-star that's a little bit of a bust for us. For UMass standards, that's still a way better player than we typically have. But he's not coming in and putting up no Ryan Williams 17-year-old crazy season. That's not happening. And we've got to just manually back some of these guys up, because on 3rd and 4, we did not want to get too aggressive there. Bringing some guys down into the box. Are we going to give up anything? We might be able to get that stop on Alabama, except they broke the tackle. Not only can our cornerbacks not even guard the tiny little portion of the field that we want them to, they also aren't able to make any tackles at all. So it feels pretty useless to even try and play defense. Nobody seems to be able to do anything right. I mean, that route was just incredible. Tight end's going to get another big play. We are on the brink of 21-0, and that's when you know the game's basically over. However, now that I'm thinking about it, I was just watching the Hawaii Bowl with the 21-0 lead blown. Cal could not beat Hawaii. It was actually an incredible game for the Hawaii Bowl. But what can we even do after that? It looks like Abdul could be gone here. I saw the mismatch. We're going to find the space. He hangs on, and let's end this first half scoring a touchdown, getting things back within 14. We probably haven't run the ball as much as we should. Only 5 carries for Brandon Hood. This is a play that I threw multiple pick sixes on last season, but I decided to go to it anyway, and Abdul Rahim Gladding is in. That gives me just the slightest bit of hope. They're still bouncing off of our tackles. But you know what? We're not completely done yet. This is where we're going to be done, though, because they've just realized that Bailey is like 85 speed. They could beat him deep every single time. We are simply not going to be able to keep up with Jalen Hale's speed. So it took no time for us to go back down by 21 points. Even Zach Lawrence is getting caught by defensive tackles. We all know that if it was in my control, he wouldn't be our starting quarterback. This could actually be a really nice play. Main reason being he's just not that accurate, and he can't scramble at all. That is another drop for Kroom, though. I'm starting to get really annoyed with him. Our backup tight end gonna bring this one in. And honestly, I think all we're gonna do is we're just gonna hand this one off and then settle for a field goal. We could have managed the clock a lot better, though, and we don't even hit the field goal to end the half with our new kicker. So the freshmen there struggling as well. A lot of the freshmen on our team aren't doing amazing. It's just gonna take some time for them to develop. We actually got Alabama biting down off of the play action because they assumed we'd be running the football. So that is going to be a second touchdown for Abdul Rahim Gladding. And that's a whole other dimension to our offense we've got to explore more of if we establish the run really well. What are we doing on defense? Austin Mack literally has 300 passing yards, and we just started the second half. He is 19 for 19. We haven't even been able to force him into an incompletion. They've had no reason to run the football at all. We got to use her that better. And we also have to make a tackle because there's just no way. I genuinely thought he was about to get in there. I played the RPO, but we timed it too early. And one of our new linebackers, Tim Gold, is injured, so we're just going to be stuck with some worse players out there on the field. I think we've warmed ourselves up pretty well, though, for Boston College next week. We'll see if we can score again. I have a bad feeling it's not coming, and this game is just going to continue to get more ugly. But we'll see. On 3rd and 11, they're going to go with man-to-man coverage. We didn't have the time. And sure enough, they've just marched their way down the field. It's going to be a keeper for Austin Mack, who broke 2 tackles. It took a 350-pounder just ramming through him to put him on the ground. And there they go again. We are trying so hard to even stay in this one a little bit. But we're down by 28 points. I doubt we even finished this drive. It's a miracle we've made it this far down the field in the first place. And OG was open in the seam. That's where we have to have Zach Lawrence develop more in his accuracy in the offseason. 3rd and 10. Nobody is biting down. We're going to need to somehow place this past the corner, and it's going to be intercepted like it should have. At least Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide were kind to us, and they didn't run up the score from there. But that was just a frustrating game. I have figured out that for Dorian Homer, this cornerback, this is what his hard sell is. We're just going to soft sell it for now. We're trying to sway him so he's interested in 2 grades that we can pitch a little bit better just to beat out Vanderbilt. That's the type of stuff I'm thinking about, at least, so we can close out some of these battles. We're going to have to get guys on visits as soon as it's possible. It also looks like we could be able to bring in the free safety. And it would really help us if we had a rivalry win and we won a game for the first time in years. Boston College currently looks like the best team in Massachusetts. They still have Dylan Lonergan, who is 89 speed. He's an 88 overall. They got tough receivers to stop. Running back wise, though, looks like they have an 82 overall, 85 speed freshman. So I'm confident in our ability to stop the run, but are we going to be able to stop the pass? Outside of Boston College, the only other team on our schedule that I see us having a really decent shot against this year is UConn. So both of them former rivals, though this one is for the state of Massachusetts. And you'll see our fan turnout for the game is really impressive for a team that's not won in years. We don't have that many stands to fill in our stadium. I think it's like 18,000. But our guys have showed up, and first run is going to be about 15. That's our answer to success. Brandon Hood, he cuts it back. He gets a couple more. And we're going to see if we can break their zone coverage on this play. We're going to have him open on the hitch. But now it is 3rd and 8. We're going to go for the halfback angle route, and it's going to be just enough. I was waiting for this play to get suggested too. Typically, we run it at least once or twice a game. It's the RPOs that do us best. This is the one that Abdul Rahim Gladding was able to take to the house. We just need the blocking for him. He won't get around both of those guys, but he doesn't need to. We've already picked up 3 first downs. It's been an extremely effective first drive. It was just bound to have a little bit of a hiccup if we didn't pick up much on the ground. Apparently that last ball was dropped though, which means this is going to be 3rd and 14 with a guy in our face. We make the throw. OG makes the catch, fighting off a dude. So we made the right decision, giving the sophomore the opportunity to start for us again. Who cares that he's a lower overall than the transfer? What we are hoping to see over time is our guys, the ones that we've started with, keep developing. Though somebody like Bryce Kroom, we're hoping gets open underneath on his drag route here. The slant would have been a touchdown. And our new star receiver just got injured. It's 3rd and goal. It looks like it's going to be man-to-man coverage. And since it is, we're centered up. We'll just kick our field goal, take our 3-point lead, and hope that by the time we have the football back, Naheem Abdul-Rahim Gladding is healthy, which he should be. Our center is going to be out for a couple quarters. I really like Garrett Cooper. I think he does a great job blocking for us. Does the Boston College running back have that same benefit? He already had 100 rushing yards last week. I thought we were about to bring down Danny Lonergan, but he was able to evade that pressure. We're going to have a quarterback spy out there, and what a throw. I can't even be upset about it. We got guys ready to try and attempt to tackle. No guarantees they're actually bringing anybody down. 2nd down, the run is stuffed. So here we go. 3rd and 9. It is simple. We're just going to run cover 3. The halfback angle route might get open late. But can we get that interception? No, we can't even knock the ball loose. The problem with Humphreys is he is just a freshman, and he's also not that quick. He'll develop over time for us at free safety, but he's not going to be as good as what we had last year. And that almost looked a little bit too easy for Boston College. They were still able to score. We only got 3. But it is still early in this game. Man-to-man coverage, locking up. And we truly are just not getting enough time back there. We might have to scramble for this first down or throw it short. Hope that we make that catch. The 3 and out is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. I don't feel defeated yet because I still feel like we are going to figure out a way to pick up a win this season, whether it's this game or even against a big program. But there are certain things that need to happen that will make it way easier for us to do so. And so far, none of those things have happened. We just gave up a touchdown. Humphreys was out of position, thinking he could bait Lonergan into a pick. It'd be really easy for us to just start throwing the ball and let this one get out of hand. But first, we are still going to try and keep it on the ground, which is losing us yards. There are so many tight ends out there on the field for us on this 3rd down. I didn't think we'd convert, but we put the ball where we needed to. Apparently, it just wasn't caught, so we're giving it straight back to the Eagles. That was a fair catch. Not the right decision. He could have taken off for so many more yards. Can we bait Lonergan into a pick? No, he's trying us deep, and we're not even close to catching him. Okay, now I'm starting to feel a little bit defeated. Boston College, better than they were last season. That's for sure. We just got out of there with Hood. All for only 4 yards. I feel like our offensive line really hasn't held up that well in this game. I just hit the wrong button. I was trying to throw it underneath. There's just no way this is how this one goes, that it's going to be this bad. You can see why this is such a challenging rebuild. You would think UMass got a little bit better, but we haven't. In fact, I don't know if this team got worse. They're literally throwing it straight at our guys. Reed Harris caught a deep one on us, and then he just did that. We are getting disrespected on our home field, and we can't even run. At some point, Zach Lawrence is going to have to throw the football, and I don't think it's going to go well when he does, but we have no choice. Very few teams are going to fear a lead like 28-3, but a couple would. And let's see, is that cornerback going to be out of position, or are we going to throw a pick? We got to hand this one off straight up the middle. We're going to stay in hurry up mode until we make a mistake. We got a blocker out there for OG. I will be consistently looking in his direction. If he's not open up the seam, we're going to roll out. There's no way this throw's good on the run. You got to catch it. For Zach Lawrence to get that out and then it result in nothing is so disappointing because he typically wouldn't be able to. I think Bryce Kroom is truly one of the most underwhelming 5-stars we could have ever signed. Is that going to be on the money? Wow. They're also coming out with a 3-man front. We will run on that all day. Not that it got us much. Kenyon Massey going to come in for this wide receiver screen. His touch doesn't get us far. So it's third down. We shouldn't be looking at Bryce Kroom, but we're dealing with injuries. So I might be staring him down on this play. They're going to pick it. They're going to pick it. They lurked it so well. He's even breaking out of there. There's a fumble. They got it. And I just have no words. How could it be this bad? How could it be this bad? This is a wake-up call. It really is. I believed that we were just going to come out in this game and pick up that first win. We've gotten smoked. Where it might get even worse before halftime. They're literally running it with Dylan Lonergan. I can't tell if they're trying to settle for 3 or get a touchdown, but I'm assuming the latter. They just called a timeout. It's going to be an RPO. We can make that hit. And here we go. 14 seconds left in the half. Just hold them to 3. This is the worst we've gotten beaten so far. It's 31-3. And we legitimately cannot get the Eagles off of the field. There we go. 3rd and 4. This is how we have to start the third quarter, with a stop. It's not coming. It's not. I just can't believe that it's this bad. I thought we'd be a little bit better. This one man has hit like 4 touchdowns on us. And there's just no way that we're ever getting off a pass because nothing goes right. There truly was nothing to see in the second half. 45-0. And Boston College takes the series up to being 26-5 against UMass. After that, we're going to have to face Miami, Florida, Tennessee, USC, Pittsburgh, BYU, LSU, Clemson, before we face UConn, who is a team I think we could beat, but I thought we were going to beat Boston College, and we saw how that went. So there's that. I guess in every single game along the way, we technically have our chance. And what benefited us the most last season was facing backup quarterbacks, plus receivers not having like 99 speed. What I see on Miami is Emory Williams, who is a senior. I'm also seeing 3 experienced running backs, though nobody faster than 92 speed that's going to play. I doubt Nye Carr is going to be on the field, so that could be nice. And on a couple of the players I wanted to sign, Glenn Adams, the quarterback, we are not going to have the hard sell. We're also not going to have the hard sell for Evan Moses, but if we schedule both of them for a visit, probably going to have to come in week 7 on a bye since we're not going to win any other games. Maybe they sign with us. And I just want to stay in this matchup against the Hurricanes for as long as possible. That is literally my only goal for this game. If we could have it within like 7 points at halftime, I'd be extremely happy. The way we do that, though, is we start off this first drive going down the field. Ideally not from the 15-yard line like we're going to be. But if 85 yards later we find ourselves in the end zone, then we have done something right. First carry, blocks aren't holding. That's something that I think our receivers on last year's team were a little bit better about, which allowed us to run for more with Hood. But I can't say his vision was great there. 3rd and 10, about to get held to a 3-and-out. Unless we make a good throw and catch. About time one of our receivers held on. If I'm gonna bring you in through the transfer portal, you better be at least decent. We almost bounced away. 5 yards at a time. That's all we gotta think about. Even if we could pick up a couple yards a play, eventually you're gonna get those first downs. Halfback screen, another 5. And these are the ones that we mix in, where the play action pulls the defense down. Kroom is not gonna have the speed to beat them deep, which is why they're able to press there. That's out of reach. It's unfortunate. Maybe we shouldn't have gone for anything like that. Catch and run. Gets 1. And here we go. 3rd and 10. Seems like man-to-man coverage out there on the field. Can Massey run under that football? He can't catch it. So we're not going to be scoring on our first drive, but maybe our defense comes out hot. The ball is going to bounce. They're going to scoop it up, and they're already at the 40. I don't know what coverage we want to be sitting in. I think quarters could stop the run well, but we're in match. That's going to put a lot of our guys in man-to-man, and I just don't know if they're capable of keeping up with these Miami receivers, even though they're not the fastest we face. I'm just not sure about how I want to stack the box yet. The flat cannot be that open. And if they decide to run against our cover 2, look, they're going to get a good bit. That's probably what we're going to stick in for now, but once again, they run like they should. And we're just going to get a lot of guys up on the line. We might even bring the dogs at them. We're going to send our 6. We make the diving tackle, but they get the first down, and this is where I'm worried about our coverage. We've just left way too much open there. I'm not sure how we're supposed to stop an experienced Malachi Toney either. That feels like an impossible task, but that could have been an interception if we didn't get our pressure in. They hit us with our favorite play. That really was a solid drive from Miami. Inside zone last year. Felt like it got us more, but maybe we just got to keep on running the football. I feel like we might have a chance at beating the press over there. They are all over us. That is now 5 carries for 10 yards, and we're going to take our quick out route. If it's man-to-man coverage, though, we're going to have to make a catch that we can't. This punt is also looking horrendous. It's going to go out of bounds at like the 30-yard line. But I promised myself this wouldn't be another season of us feeling hopeless. It wouldn't be just another season of us getting blown out every game. There would be something entertaining going on Let's make that tackle. You've got to be kidding. Okay, hang on. This is 3rd and 1. I was not prepared for a quarterback sneak. If this is a run, maybe we stop it. 4th and 1. Just like that, we can keep this game competitive. We're going to have plenty of time to drive down the field. We should have probably blocked 24. What I have to wonder, though, is are we even going to rush for a few yards on this carry? We're going to cut it back into a defender. Then we got this stretch pop RPO where I have never thrown it to the slant. But what are we thinking on 3rd and 10? I feel like we've got to block our running back or else they're going to get an instant pressure. We might have Massey up the seam. We got to really think about this one before we snap it. And just the throw underneath is going to have us well short. Obviously, you don't want to run a fake punt in this scenario, but I feel like we have to. We have to take that chance. Look at the blocks. Reach for it. We really needed that. I wanted to keep the drive alive. 2nd and 13. If it's another run, I was actually feeling kind of confident, but they got us with that block. They're going to shed one, and I just don't know if we can get them off the field. On 3rd down, we got routed completely. It just gets to a point where you have to say, great drive, Miami. You deserve to get in. And we don't deserve anything from this game so far. A halfback toss. There's just no blocks. It is really hard to establish the run when they know that the run is coming. I have a feeling this play's not going to do us much either, which puts us on these 3rd and longs that we are never going to convert. If that's a hot read, we got him. But Zach Lawrence has overthrown that ball before, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did it again. It's starting to dawn on me that this series could run all the way up until the release of College Football 27, just based off of the fact that we don't seem to have any lick of success. I mean, it's now 3rd and 15. We're going to try and hit that seam. We do. But what's our common denominator? What is the one thing keeping us any bit on the field? It's OG. Without him making catches as our tight end, this drive would have died a long time ago, so I'm going to give him a chance for another. He just can't hang on. 3rd and 13. I'm looking over on that left side. We might actually have a touchdown here. Hang on. Does Cam Locke have it in him? He doesn't. I thought that he might have had a step there, but now we're punting it back to the Hurricanes. That punt is perfect. That's a perfect punt. Wow. I have never seen a punt better than that on this game. If you have a better punt than that, I got to see it. Send me the clip. Safety. Safety. They break one. You've got to be kidding. This is our best chance at scoring points, but they had the blocks. Oh, no. He might be gone. Joe Jackson might be gone. Come on. Come on, Bailey. You have to have a little bit of speed in the tank. Maybe we get over there with Shellings. This whole team is just bad. We recruited for an entire season, and things haven't gotten any better. They've actually gotten worse. Do you think we're getting any points before the half? Because I sure don't. Hang on. Bryce Kroom with the step and the catch. I can't believe Zach Lawrence was even able to see that. We still have a hope to get points before the end of the half. It's not there. Maybe we hit Bryce Kroom again, though. He could be getting open in the end zone. There's a flag, which means this is a free play. And it was against the Hurricanes. I think we accept it, and we still try and throw to the end zone. As much as I'd like to get on the board, I'd much rather have a touchdown. So we got 2 reads. We got our tight end, and we got Kroom. Our tight end isn't even open. It is what it is. As long as they don't return this for 6, it's fine. I don't think anybody here is impressed with the first half. But who knows? If we could just stop the run here, which we can't. He just broke our tackle, which would have been for a huge loss. And we're reaching that point in the game where we feel helpless. Emory Williams is far from the best quarterback that we're going to face all season as well. Just a simple juke from Jackson. Though here we go. 3rd and 5. An opportunity to stop Miami. We're going to go for the hit stick, and we're going to miss the hit stick there. I feel pain. I feel a lot of pain. We might have a touchdown, though. Do we got that step? It's placed well. Oh, it's dropped. That basically sums up how our offense has looked all season. We're going to make some changes before we go into our next game. We're going to start trying out new plays, new playbooks. We're also going to get in a mix, so we're not just leaning on one running back. But first, a potential touchdown, just to make us feel a little bit better about it. For all we know, it could be Kroom's first of his career. He's going to have to catch this one. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to be looking at for this play. We got our slant. Can we make the catch? We can't. So here we go. We're running the football. Is it there? Kind of. Enough to make us feel like we can still get that touchdown. It can't be another. How bad is the catching for some of our receivers? That needs to be the #1 focus in the offseason. I have never seen something as bad as this has been. What? No. No, we're going to tackle him. It's going to be fine. But you are telling me that we just threw that off of our lineman's head. They catch it off of the deflection. Zach Lawrence, you got to feel for him. I think we switch up QBs too. No part of me wants to throw David Lynch out there with a new playbook, but I might as well just do it anyway. Throw under pressure is 65. I feel like that's really going to bite us. We also might not need to be redshirting basically our entire receiving room, but we want them to stay around for longer because they're so slow. What I've settled on is Tennessee's veer and shoot. We're going to see if spacing out defenses helps us at all. We also want to keep things fresh. Our running backs are going to be getting subbed in more. I can see that Evan Moses is 100% just not going to choose our school. It is a waste of resources if we kept him on our board. But then I remembered we actually need him there still because he was going to help us with the visit bonus. As for Dorian Homer, I feel like we could have closed out this battle already, but we continue to soft sell. We're not getting any luck with the hard sell. And our next opponent, Florida, has a 93 speed, 95 overall receiver. They still got DJ Lagway. He's a 94 now. I think I've seen enough. We have to play this at the Swamp. It's going to be very hard to figure out our new offense. Headed into this one, I've already prepared our team that we might not get a single stop on defense. And so the fact that the Gators get to start with the ball doesn't make me feel amazing because they're basically guaranteed to have a lead from the start. Their first play already going for like 15 yards. Could we at least just show like a little bit of resistance? If there is anything I want to see out of our team, it's that right there. Play action kind of got me biting, but he throws it straight at us. DJ Lagway just has zero respect for anybody on our team to play any bit of coverage. I can't blame him. I mean, we've not proven to be able to cover all season. No. You know what? I think we should stay lurking a cornerback because that could have been an incredible play. Could be one of the first positive things we've started to figure out defensively this season. Not stopping the run, though. And I remember in the FIU dynasty, I liked running this Tampa too, but we don't have anybody good. In the FIU one, it worked because we only had to take away part of the field. We had other guys that were able to get stops. DJ gets rid of it. And this is it. 3rd and 4. I am so ready to jump that RPO. It's not there, though. Where are we? I guess we're just going to have to rely on having the numbers on our side. That was the whole idea of coming over to veer and shoot. We want to really stretch the field against them. If they're going to guard our tight end off with RPO, we can hand it off. Though there are still some tighter formations out there, too. And underneath, we're going to have Kenyon Massey. What I've done is I've promoted him from wide receiver 4 to wide receiver 1, completely replacing our fastest receiver. We're putting faith in it. It might seem like a bad idea, but we have seen Naheem Abdul-Rahim Gladding just drop ball after ball this season. He's also a senior, so he's not going to be with us next year. I just feel like he's not that locked in with the team. Dylan Lynch makes the throw to Cam Locke. And you know what? I feel like we have got something going offensively. I'm a little hesitant to come out in anything under center just based off of everything else we've done in this game. We're not out there to block, but we fight our way in anyway. And you know what? That's exactly what we were hoping for. Brandon Hood is making Dylan Lynch look better. His first drive as our starting quarterback goes for a touchdown. And this is it. 3rd and 14. They hand it off. Surely we can make this tackle. No, he can't still be on his feet. This is what I'm talking about, dude. It's the impossible rebuild because what else could we have done to stop Daniels? I don't even know why there is an option to keep this, by the way, because Dylan Lynch is not a fast quarterback. But look at Hood getting out again. We legitimately have seen him do nothing all season, but now they're not respecting the run the same way other teams were. We're also getting Detrell Jones out there. He's got 96 speed, so don't sleep on him. I know he didn't do much with that play, but I still think he'll eventually figure things out this year. It's going to be 4th and 3. We haven't found ourselves in one of these situations yet, but we got our 2 superstars as the reads that I'm staring down. Hood is going to bring it in and break a tackle. I have also discovered some wicked trickery in this playbook. We're just going to keep on getting deeper in it. Massey, open, in the flat. His 95 speed allows him to take off. And I don't think it's even possible for me to read the bubble out of this RPO. We're going to have to hand it off no matter what. Just really not a great play for us. The slant to Bryce is there. And this is 4-down territory. We got a tight end motioning over to the left side that we could throw it to. We should have still, but I was afraid that that corner was just going to play it and we were going to lose yards. I didn't want to make a blind read. So now we're stuck settling for a field goal to keep it within 4. It just snuck in. Ben Nava, the freshman, isn't someone we can really trust as much as I would like to. But the more kicks he hits, the better I'll feel about him. 2nd down, they're just going to take their hits really quick. We got them to a 3rd and long last time. And that was where they literally rushed for a 75-yard touchdown. Just go underneath DJ Lagway. It's a fumble. It's a fumble. We can scoop it up. We got it with Tim Gold, the freshman, scoring a touchdown in the Swamp. I'm not saying this is going to lead to the first win of this rebuild because there is way too much game time left. We have felt like this in situations before. We're going to keep on giving up yards, but I have hope. 2nd and 1, most likely just going to be a run. We could have baited DJ. I can't stress enough how huge that fumble 6 was for us, though, just because we don't have to take the effort to get down the field now. That's going to be the easiest points that we get this entire game. And all I'm looking to do is hold Florida to a field goal. It seemed like it was going to be a run. We're in there. Christian Schillens makes the play. He was also my user on 3rd down. We really just can't give up such an obvious pass in that situation. They're going to choose some clock. They have the RPO. Let's hold them to 3. It's not going to be an easy task, especially if they keep going underneath. Where are our hard flats? That just really hurts because our offense is not built to move down the field very fast. Was that a good throw? I don't even know what I'm seeing right now. Lynch might actually be him. I don't care what his overall is. We're going to get out of bounds with this play. And I'll let David continue to make easier throws. We still have 3 timeouts. A field goal would be super nice. Bryce Kroom coming around. He makes the simple catch. He's got 9 more. This is where we really test his abilities, though. Abdul Rahim Gladding is back on the field. If this is cover 3, we're really going to want to hit it up the middle. We'll take our check down. That's 20 more. There was no reason to look elsewhere. Maybe a touchdown is in play for us to end this half. He got a hand on it. You really cannot mind that shot to the end zone, though. We'll center ourselves up. And this is where we need to be extra careful. 14 seconds left on the clock. Maybe we're able to reach the end zone, but I don't want to force it. We're actually just going to run with Lynch. And now we've gotten ourselves into trouble. We have to call this timeout. I thought about going for it, but this would get the game back within a point. And to say that we have a game this season where we're within a point is incredible. We've not come this close against anybody yet. We also get the football to start this second half. So if Massey has a good return, that's going to put us in a nice spot. And then we can just start feeding our running backs. First carry, it's going to be about 10 yards for Hood. Eventually, they're probably going to decide, hey, we got to bring more people into the box. They're just going to hand it off, which is where we run to the outside. Except it really wasn't there. 2nd and 14, we've hit Cam Locke on the route that he is on before in this game. But now I got to say I'm worried. It's 3rd and 14. We're most likely just not going to be able to convert. Literally, nobody was open there. The punt isn't even going to go that far. They're going to have a chance to return it as well. And all of our momentum that we were building up feels like we just lost it. But I have seen DJ Lagway make bad reads. Why are we just blind? Can no one see the ball coming? That's Vernell Brown III, their 95 overall receiver. I can't say I'm surprised that he's having a really good game. We need more blockers, though, so we're motioning an extra one over. They brought a defender with them. And I would love to hot route just a simple slant out there onto the field. I think we just got it with Bryce Kroom. We got to step up. David Lynch isn't making it to the marker at all. He's going to fumble that. Do we go for it? It's 4th and 7. I almost think that from their own 28-yard line with 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, no team's going for it. So we did take the penalty. We're just going to punt it back to the Gators and hope that our defense actually gets that stop that hasn't come. Outside of the lucky fumble 6, Florida has just had their way. But I still feel like we've had our opportunities. We've gotten them into 3rd and longs. We're just not able to ever get them off of the field. I'm actually going to test DJ Lagway right here. He might just try to throw this immediately. It was an RPO. They got a nice bit. I really don't know what to do besides just try and bring everybody down. But once you bring everybody down, if nobody makes that tackle, we're very susceptible to giving up a huge run. We're trying to get to the outsides with Humphreys. He does. But the second they decide they want to split the seam or something, we're going to be in trouble. Okay, on 3rd and 3, I'm not expecting them to run the football. I was expecting a pass, but we just can't cover anybody. So what did I say we had to do to win this game? We have to score on like every single drive. Because if we don't, they're going to score on every single drive. And I just want the ability to hot route because I see things that we could actually take advantage of. Maybe we finish off this one and we head into the 4th quarter down by 7. I truly think we just got to go for the 2-point conversion and see what happens. I don't know if there's anybody in the flat. Oh, looks like there is somebody in the flat. Flowers is going to crib this. Okay, well, it was nice while it lasted. I don't know how I feel about the David Lynch experiment. I don't think he's better than what else we could be working with, but he does have a slightly stronger arm, which is a little bit nice. He gets that throw out, but we can't even catch it. It's 4th and 10. Can we place this above the linebacker? straight into their hands. I really don't want to talk about this game anymore. We did finish with 27 points, so it's the most we've scored all year. It's just when you're comparing what DJ Lagway did to what David Lynch did, it doesn't put much confidence in Lynch. I'm also worried if we don't play Zach Lawrence, he's going to transfer, and next year we're going to have even worse quarterback options, which is hard to believe. But it is possible that could happen. Just taking a peek at some of the players that want to transfer away from our program, the ones that hurt me the most are some of our best defensive backs. But here's the thing, Brennan Bailey is already a junior. He only has 85 speed. We've watched him get toasted all year, so I can't be too upset about it. I would love to keep Montrose back, though. 95 excel. You know what? At last, I do have a little bit of good news. We finally got the sway to work over on Dorian Homer. So even though Vanderbilt has scheduled their visit, I think we can close that battle out. We have no one else competing for the gym corner. It looks like we might be able to win some of these other ones. 4-star free safety hasn't even hit his top 5. And we're about to use the Tennessee offense against Tennessee. We're just going to see who can run it better. Considering they have Boo Carter, a 98 speed, 95 overall corner, wherever he is guarding, we will never test that side of the field. Our wide receiver 1 is in trouble. They also have Deuce Knight transferring from Auburn with his 90 speed. We are so cooked. Almost all of our defensive backs are like 10 speeds slower than their receivers. And if there's an offense that is my least favorite to try and stop in this game, it's Tennessee's. We also have to go to Neyland Stadium, making things even more challenging than they're already going to be. And for whatever reason, we keep on trying to take out the kick returns. It never works. We always start at like the 15-yard line, and then we're already needing so many yards to score. I didn't even read all the stuff that just popped up there, but it seemed like it didn't make much sense. It said that Tennessee was the lesser team. I sure hope that's what everybody believes. First run worked well. Second run does not, but we just want to throw Bryce Kroom underneath or the halfback angle route. That was actually a big miss. We should have taken the yards that we knew we could get because we have already started this one with a 3-and-out, and we just can't afford to do that. Noah Rogers is just one of their many good receivers, and I don't know how we're going to stop the run if we need to. Already getting 9. They're also a hurry-up team, which is even more annoying to face off against, especially if Deuce Knight is just going to take off with his 90 speed. It's over. I don't typically say a game is over this soon, but I feel absolutely no hope against the Volunteers except Cam Locke getting a huge catch. That one crosser could be the only thing that goes well for us. Come on. Hood was so close to slipping away there. I don't think it's ever going to be ideal to throw this bubble except Cam Locke gets the first. And he stays being our favorite target. The run simply not there. Man-to-man coverage. Not ideal, but we're going to just send this ball up. But it doesn't matter. We drop it even though we placed it exactly where we needed to. We'll probably drop this one as well. And they got us trotting out our freshman kicker for a 51-yard field goal. The fact that he's going to hit this is so impressive. Still not feeling great, though. It's going to be a run, and they just got the numbers. Like, I really don't know what to do in those situations. We are actually just hoping for the best. That's going to be a streak, but they're going to have us over the middle. I couldn't get there in time. And I don't feel very good about running quarters as our coverage. That right there is why. That right there is why. Are things going any better with Lawrence? Not so far. He could have run on this play. We throw the slant, and did we just test Boo Carter? Did we just test the best corner on their team? No, we didn't. It was Caleb Beasley, the second best corner on the team, which is even worse. We got him. I truly don't think I can sit here and say that Zach Lawrence deserves the start, though, after this performance. I felt like last week we had a much better chance of pulling it off. Cam Locke is catching it. But I feel like our offense coming together is a little bit too late. We're already down 21-3. We know Tennessee is not going to be easy to hold. There's just one receiver that seems to care this season, and it's Cam. It is Cam. That is such a bad throw from Lawrence, though. On third down, we're going to take the sack and just tack on another field goal to get it within 2 possessions. On defense, I'm just not sure what's going to work for us against Tennessee. I know for a fact that if we start sending blitzes, it's game over. They're probably going to score a touchdown on this play, and they just threw it inside. We're never going to get to their quarterback quick enough unless we have that running head start. There we go. Hang on, that might be the answer. We're going to try and stop the run, and the blocks are perfect. The blocks are perfect. Montrose coming over to bring him down. Michael Welch is going to be very upset that they're not giving him credit for a touchdown. But here we go. First and goal. He will get in. And the second quarter might have just begun, but they could put in their backups at any time. We have looked horrendous, and I mean horrendous, against Tennessee. There is not one bright spot that I have seen in this game. Massey is getting pressed so hard. And as the half goes on, you have to wonder, What is going to happen to us? Are we about to give up this 3rd and 9? We might actually get Tennessee off of the field, which is a win in itself. We haven't gotten many stops like that one. I just don't know what else we'll do. We had the football first, yet we already find ourselves down by so much. And I don't think the play action is going to get them to bite enough to take this shot to Massey. I feel like I am playing about how Kentucky's offense looked at some points this season, where we just look lost. And I gotta say, we are actually really lucky Tennessee took their foot off the gas in this game. You can see they're chewing clock, because even when we punted it to them at the end of the first half, they didn't try to score. And here they're settling for 3 when they don't need to. What I really want to see is just anything positive. Zach Lawrence is getting shredded out there, though. He will not be our starting quarterback next week. Though what do you want him to do when our best receiver is just catching easy passes like that one? Cam Locke is going to make up for it, but then we followed up with a pick. And I think I made a bad decision in benching our backup quarterback. I apologize, David Lynch. You are immediately returning to be our starter, where we have hit a very important bye week. I'm not sure what type of bonuses we're about to see on some of these players, but we got to get commits this week. It looks like we are going to land Cedric Bourne, but for everybody else like quarterback Len Adams, we're not able to close out the battle. I still can't believe that I won a 3-star bust at quarterback so bad. He has 65 speed. That just summarizes how helpless I currently feel with UMass, and we're going to feel it against 94 overall USC. When we look at their roster, if they run any man-to-man coverage, it is game over for us. At quarterback, though, Cade Fox isn't the best. He actually might be the lowest overall quarterback we faced all year. Maybe we're able to rattle him. The odds of it are pretty low, since it's not like we have any stadium pulse on our side. But since we're playing schools like USC, we've seen more fans come out. They're really not coming for us. But that's okay. It's how we win them over. We're getting paid a lot of money to be in these games anyway. Not a good start. Not a good start for our run defense. Taylor Tatum is going to have an incredible day if they continue to feed him, though they've immediately just gone to the air, which gets them a good bit. But there was no need for that. We know that they're going to run the football well on us, and everyone's getting routed. I was able to see 3 different players open. That doesn't make me feel great. But look at that, a little miscommunication. It's going to be 2nd and 10. We're not looking at the flat. We got to get out there and make that tackle. Come on, guys. We are playing with some brain-dead individuals. They're about to thread it up the seam, though. We knock it loose. Let's give some credit to Bailey for a second. I don't care that he wants to transfer. We needed that play. And this is it. 3rd and 8. Can we get USC off the field? We do. Freshman edge Peyton Luttress getting the sack. They're also going to miss the kick. And this is the best we've gotten to feel all season. From what we just saw, USC's cornerbacks are really good, but their safeties aren't. They're like 80 overalls. That's something we can work against. This drive just cannot be a 3 and out, though, and it probably will. We work so hard to get that defensive stop, and we're about to be on a 4th and 2, which typically we would punt on, but we're near midfield. We're close enough to where I felt comfortable going for it. It's not a decision that you want to see this early. It lets them know we are so desperate. But who cares? There's a lot of truth to that. We've already pulled out 3 different RPOs because this feels like the only way we're going to move the football. So I have to imagine they're going to guard OG on this play, and then we're going to take it on the ground for 6. Brandon Hood's been getting a great opportunity so far. They've left the hitch open. That should have been picked. I feel extremely lucky. Can we cut this back for the first? We can. Now we're going to pull out the real hitter, though. We're going to see if they actually bite down on the run. I know we haven't run the football that much in this game, but we should have the crosser. Oh, we hit the wrong button. What are we doing? Zach Lawrence with an awful read. Actually, it's not even him. I'm pretty sure it's David Lynch. That's crushing. That is crushing. We were controlling this one so well. 2nd and 14. It's going to be another handoff. We get the stop, and here we go. Do we get the Trojans off of the field? It's another sack. Peyton Luttress is on one right now. That is 2 for him in this game already. I can't remember if we got him as a freshman out of the transfer portal and he sat a year, or we got him out of high school, but I know we brought him on. And we truly just need to be smarter on this drive about how we go about getting points and trying to finish it off. I really like how we're coming out in such heavy sets, and we're going to force USC to adapt to it. If they don't, we're going to rush well. Something we will continue to do. Our next carry is going to have the backup running back out there. I've been trying to get Jatrell Jones more involved because he is 96 speed, and we're going to actually put it to work. Here's the issue, though. I feel like every time we give him a carry, there's just the worst block sheds in the world, while our guys want to block for Brandon Hood. So we're just going to hurry it up. We're going to hand this one off, and I'm hoping that he can get into the end zone. We might have already thrown a pick, but we did score. And bringing down Humphreys so far has not hurt us. We know they're going to look at one of those shorter reads on the field. What I'm doing, though, is hoping that they don't recognize we're going from this cover 3 to a cover 2, because they're still going to have a lot of opportunities where they could shred our defense. We're going for the diving tackles. Missing 4 of them. We got to just wrap up. I really don't think Cade Fox has been all that so far. It's just the running backs are tough. So the more that they're throwing it, the better. We see the run coming. We're out there. We got hands on 29. It's never enough. To bring him down, we're going to need a whole lot more than that. And a halfback screen was a great play call. They got the exact mismatch they were looking for. We're down there with Humphreys. It's going to be 3rd and 13. And I trust our guys to just hang in strong here. If they go for the check down, all you have to do is prevent them from getting the first. There's just no way. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That has really set me off. We had him. We should have been able to hold him to 3. It is what it is, though. We're just going to run this play. It actually has a really good route for us to throw if they don't want to stop Brandon Hood. And apparently there's a quarterback power in this if we don't throw it to him in the flat. So I really just want to get it out to him no matter what. Whether we are able to score or not, this needs to be the final drive of the half. Come on. You've got to be kidding. We have chewed the clock down. It is 3rd and 27. I just can't imagine that we're about to pick this up. We're going to wait. We're going to be patient. We're actually going to make that catch. And I know I haven't given Brian that many opportunities to redeem himself to earn back that starting job, but after that play, he might deserve one. All the Trojans are doing is they're literally letting us run the football on them because they didn't want to give up a touchdown. But that actually works out perfectly. We're going to kick our field goal, and we're going to have a lead at halftime. There were things about this game that needed to go a little bit differently, and we'd be in a much better position. But that's just football. You can always look back on stuff and wish that it went a little bit differently, as long as we start the second half strong. I will be proud of this team and what we've been able to do. They're all over it. We probably have no choice but to throw the football here, and it's cover 2. We're just not going to get the time that we want either. I'm willing to force it. No way Cam Locke just caught that football. See, now I'm starting to believe. Now I am starting to believe that we could be meant to win this game. Forget that USC got a bailout for a touchdown. That was a bailout for this entire drive. Though I'm not sure I trust our 3rd stringer tight end to rush for this off the fullback dive. That's who's listed as our fullback. We are really battling up front here, and we know that we have to go for it in this situation. It's just going to be a straight handoff up the middle. Come on. Maybe we did need to get a little bit more creative there. They're immediately just going to break off of that tackle. And I don't think we're going to be able to sit in the same defense that we've been sitting in all game. Eventually, USC is going to adapt, and it's not good. I really tried to keep things solely on the ground, and it just didn't work out for us, though that's a great hit from Humphreys. I like how the freshman has been developing, though he just left him wide open. There were so many players open there. I mean, giving that up is on our defensive line. There was no reason for the Trojans to have that much time, and I'm afraid this is where they're just going to get into the end zone. They're at the 1. Okay, well, they're out in Wildcat, so we knew the run was coming. There it is. It just really hurts. We know the position that we were in. We're going to go back to running the football, though. David Lynch does not need to be thrown it when Brandon Hood has played the way he has. The problem, though, is USC in this 3rd quarter has been much sharper whenever it comes to stopping the run. Even coming up on a 3rd and 1, I don't know what to do. When we needed to move the ball 1 yard, we had 3 chances to do it on our last drive. We just weren't able to. And this really feels like that all over again. We have the numbers taken care of, but if they get the block shed, or if they're in, what do you do? It's the 2nd time a drive has been stalled out at midfield. We're giving USC incredible field positioning. That is a great layered throw. And I liked the fight. I liked what I was seeing, but now I don't. They've picked up on our defense that we've run for this entire game, and I'm stubborn. I don't want to switch it. We're out there. No. I get that he's like a 90 overall, and we got like 65 overall corners out there, but that's 3 broken tackles. We're just going to have to get lucky and have someone come free to stop the run. They still got a yard. But that felt like our best run defense. We were able to hit immediately. They do the exact same play. How is he on his feet? It is not the end of the world. They're kicking a field goal, and they could miss from this angle, which they do. But here is my problem. What are we going to do with 4 minutes left? It looks like Detrell Jones is out there on the field. With his 96 speed, he finally gets a good carry this year. And this is going to be the final drive of the game. I just realized there's only a few minutes left. I don't know how it happened, but we're getting shifty too. This is actually an incredible opportunity. The Trojans should have just gone for it on 4th down. They probably would have converted there. And we might even have Bryce Kroom in the flat. It looks like they're going to try and play the run. He's going to get 3 or 4. All I can really say is we are in our best position to pick up our first win with UMass. 2 minutes left, trailing by 4. It makes sense to keep things on the ground, but this is when we put in our 3rd string running back. Thorpe's not going anywhere. It's a really bad time for that, and we also got Andy out there on the field. What is happening? It's out of reach. You can't miss that throw. David Lynch might have just sold. We're going to watch Bryce Kroom on his slant route. He's not that open. Underneath. Can we reach for it? Massey gets it. We should not have picked that up. I'm looking back in his direction. We just got to get rid of it. I still don't understand, though, why we got Thorpe out there on the field. I mean, the third stringer is going to get about 15, but this is not what I wanted when I said keep our running backs fresh. I want them to put in our star. I actually think we just need to call a timeout because we cannot be having him take any more carries. I think it could be a long time before we find ourselves in a position like this again, where we could actually pull off a win. Cut to the outside. Terrell Jones is in the end zone. We have done it. We have done it. I don't think in a series I have ever made it 18 games before without picking up a win. It was about to be 19, but all we have to do is hold them from field goal range. That was extremely scary right there. We cannot let a kick return ruin our season. No, no, no! I backed everybody off. What else can we do? We have like 85 speed cornerbacks out there. I just have no words, man. We're headed to overtime. That's it. And we're probably not picking up our first win. 1st and 10, just go ahead. Run the football. We're going to get out there with Humphreys. Oh, we already got caught on one player. Breaking one tackle. It's okay, though. About the best spot they could be in is one like this. Quarterback, going to throw it. We could have even made a user play there. Now we have to bring so many guys up to the line. Just cross our fingers. We got him. Here we go. 3rd and 5. USC tries to pull us down. I don't think they got anybody, but he's going to take off up the middle. So the drive stays alive for USC. If USC does anything besides run, they are about to score a touchdown. Looks like their quarterback, though, running for his life. So how do you think we're going to have our hearts broke on 3rd and goal? I have a quarterback spy out there. I've learned my lesson. Please tell me that USC is not about to convert. I see the route breaking at the last second. He throws it away. What if their kicker misses this? He's already shanked one from this spot, and he does it. He does it again. I am unwilling to stay excited, though, for any longer until our field goal actually goes in, because EA's cheated us out of this game like 3 times already. All we're doing is we're just going to run it up the middle. If we get an extra yard or 2, it's cool, but this kick is manageable either way. I just want to get as close as possible. This is it. The long-awaited first win for UMass. It's going to go in. They're not able to block the kick. We have finally done it. This is an upset on our home field. This is the most rewarding win I've gotten to feel on this game in so long. And I'll tell you what, David Lynch didn't play amazing in this game, but he did just enough rushing-wise. Brandon Hood, 129 yards. We also got Deestroying Jones for 51. And I just realized something. I didn't even mention it because I thought there was no shot we won that game. We had multiple players on a visit for that week. I think one of them was Dorian Homer, and it was, we're going to beat out Vanderbilt for the corner. We have already been able to get 3 cornerbacks to commit. We also somehow got Glenn Adams. I can't believe he chose our school. But for 4-star Emmanuel Drugsma, I can tell that Miami's just going to get him in week 10. We are not able to hard sell on him. He was even in for that visit in week 8. I've started to scout some of the states that we can recruit in, like Connecticut, though, and there is almost nobody available at this point in the season. On the 3-star side of things, there are more kickers and punters than anything else. I'm also taking a look at some of these 2-stars, but a lot of them care about playing time. After scouting even the 3-star receiver I found and seeing that he only has 81 speed, I don't think we can get him on our team because he won't be content with the playing time he gets. But I have to say, the challenge of only recruiting in the Northeast region, it is very strong. I'm not finding many prospects. It's working just as intended to nerf my recruiting ability. A 97 speed running back, Jarek Gibson, is going to rush for 200 yards on us. Eli Holstein is also a senior. So if you thought we were winning back-to-back games, I don't think so. We're going on the road to number 6 Pitt, who's 6-1. I just realized, though, as locked in as I've been on these Dynasty games, completely forgot to respond to something I was going to a couple hours ago. And I just left it straight on open. Not a great sign. It's in those early stages before I've even taken her on a date. That's coming in a couple days. But we can bounce back from it. Sometimes it's better when you ignore them, too. I don't understand women to this day. You know what I do understand, though? I understand how to give the ball to Brandon Hood and let him work. 9 yards on his first carry. He just refused to go down. I'm expecting the first down on this one, though we shouldn't have gone for more. That was actually a really bad decision. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and I can just tell that they're playing man-to-man coverage. We don't want to get stopped this early. But we barely were able to get our audibles out there on the field. Cam Locke drops the football. How am I glazing the freshman receiver when he still can't even make simple plays like that? We're not able to lean on him. and it's going to lead to Pitt starting their drive at midfield. I know he's young. I know he's not a high overall. I know he still needs to improve. But it doesn't make him dropping balls like that feel any better. 3rd and 5. We are playing underneath, which means we've given up so many different routes. We should have just made Eli Holstein read our defense. Instead, though, didn't work out the way we needed. Look at all those broken tackles as well. Are they going to do the same thing on this play? I mean, surely not. Here we go. Watching the seam. We could get an interception if he forces it. 50-50 ball. Bailey. Bailey, make a play on it. Come on, guys. We could have prevented this field goal from happening. I'm just going to assume that their kicker can hit from 45 yards out, which he does. Let's just avoid the 3 and out, though, this time around. It's so hard to live up to the expectation of we could potentially win this game after beating USC. But I just have this faith in this team. We're going to make the quick throw, and it's caught by OG. I haven't been 100% certain on keeping him out there on the field. Lynch should never be running. But back to what I was saying. We've decided to keep OG out there, and it's a fumble. It's a fumble. It's scooped up. Why I just tried to scramble outside the pocket and make a play, it's just habit. I couldn't make up any other excuse. That is the reason why. And it doesn't feel right blaming David Lynch for being slightly slow in the head because he did just help us pick up our biggest win in this rebuild. That last play is not going to help us beat the Panthers, though. I mean, we need so much to go our way to win. And we'll see if we can even convert on 3rd and 6. We're watching Cam Lock. We're watching our tight end. Somehow, both of them got clamped up. And that might be what causes me to make a switch at tight end again. Whenever players aren't making catches, they're not making plays, they're not going to be guaranteed to stay out there. Even David Lynch isn't guaranteed anything. Now, he's got a little bit of a grace period because of that last result. But if he has too many bad games in a row, I am 100% willing to switch up on him again. We got a holding call bailing us out. That was really nice. We needed something like that. I can see the curl route that's open. They're also open over there. So it's a good find for Eli Holstein. Can we please bait him into making a bad read at some point? Why does he have to take his check down? Just take a shot deep at some point. Get risky. That's really all that I'm asking for. We're going to stop the run. And we don't have that much coverage underneath. We are sending 5 guys on Pitt. Great defense, boys. Great defense. I think last year we might have kept things close for a little bit against them, but it's much different playing on the road. I don't even know why we just tried to pull off that huge play. Throw it to the outside, still keeping OG in. But if he drops one more ball on this drive, that is when I just decide enough is enough. Straight into the hands of Cam Lock. Was that first quarter even a little bit impressive? Not at all. But we are not done yet. We are going to find that seam to open up this second quarter. If it's man-to-man coverage, then we're just going to get rid of it. And you could say we haven't run the football in a while, but I felt like it wasn't going that well against Pitt until this play. Until this play! Brandon Hood! Now, after that, there is zero shot that they're expecting us to throw the football, which is why this will work. Bryce Kroom is going to get his first touchdown as a 5-star for UMass. And our defense is going to need to come out really aggressive. We were able to stop that run because Humphreys got into the hole. 2nd down, they're looking short. We make the tackle. And then I saw that we were pressing on 3rd and 7, which really worried me. They take the drag underneath. He's short. We had to scramble there. We backed everybody up at the very last second. If Pittsburgh wanted to pull off a fake punt, they would have had the bodies there to do so. No shot at Jones for returning the kick. But we are back in this game, and David Lynch is ready to carry us to at least a competitive matchup. For whatever reason, we just got so down on ourselves so fast. It's going to be a blitz that we just got through. And keeping things on the ground, we have a huge hole. We have a huge hole. How Brandon Hood is getting caught from behind like that, it sure beats me. Everybody committed down to stopping the run. It's just going to be underthrown. But OG hung on to the football. What do you want me to do besides continue to throw it? He is proving that he should stay our starting tight end. He picked up his block extremely well there. We also get the juke out with Hood. And let's see how quick he can get to the flat. Is he going to be able to make a play? Running under it? Fighting for a few. This is where we might mess up and lose 5 yards, or we could score a touchdown. It's just getting our speed to the outside. Detrell Jones isn't able to make it, but we still have 2 chances to get in. This first one, I'm willing to go straight up the middle, see if anything's there. Since it's not, we're going to have to throw the football. We want Massey on that out route because I feel like he could get some separation here. We throw it to the corner, and he makes the catch. Kenyon Massey. Oh no, hang on. There is a review going on. I feel like he got a foot down. From this angle, you can see that he actually got both of them down. There's a ref right there. I feel like our team's starting to get a little life to them. Earlier on in the year, no shot we come back after we go down 17-0. But now we're seeing a level of fight that we just haven't gotten yet. Watching for anything, they're going to have the seam. They're going to have the seam they finally picked up on. We're sitting in cover 2. That was the one thing we couldn't have happened on that play. We worked so hard to get it down the field there, all for it to amount to almost nothing. If we could at least get a field goal before the end of the first half, I'd still be feeling okay. We might still have a shot at a touchdown too. That's just asking for a lot out of our guys. They're going to go with some man-to-man coverage. And even though we got hit immediately, apparently there was also holding in the process. I really like what Pitt is doing though. They've brought so many guys up to stop the run here, and we're just going to pull the RPO, not get far. That's actually really tough. I don't even think we're going to be able to hit lock on this route. At first, I thought we might be able to. We got a comeback, though. Is our 5-star going to route up there? He is. Bryce Kroom was a route artist, so if we could get another man-to-man coverage look and we have the time to throw it, I will gladly do it. The problem is we typically don't get the time to do it. A run here could set us up into field goal range, gets us the first. It's a fumble, but he was easily down. We're just going to use our first timeout. I'm still looking over at Bryce Kroom. Depending on what coverage they're in, they were ready for the underneath. Might as well just hurry up to the line, get it out quickly. Kroom will not get us the first. That is actually a huge difference maker. If we could cut this to the outside, though, we could have had a touchdown. The only way we get into the end zone now is if they bite super hard and we just threw that post. I really wanted to make sure that we at least got a field goal so we could stay in this game, but 7 would have been great. For how we started off, I should just be thankful that we're even in this in the first place. It's so frustrating. It could literally be a completely different ball game, and they just got us so hard on RPO. I think we might just have to give up on Humphreys not going down every single play. They've clearly adapted to it. What we're going to do is we're going to have Gold cover all of these deeper routes. Tim Gold with the saving tackle. It is a simple thought process, though. We go cover 2, and then everything else he takes care of. It'll be Enrique Cush on this play. If it's just a run, though, we're going to give it all up. We're going to give up a touchdown out of this. I pass commit. I spread the line. We set our defense up for failure, and when you got the guys that we got on defense, we cannot afford to do that. For Cam Locke, though, to make another big catch like that for us, I'm liking what I am seeing. We were literally about to send up a prayer to him. And just look at the defense that we could split right here. If we get him on a streak, we're going to call it quick, and we're going to throw it. No matter if he's open or not, catch and run. We might even have a touchdown out of this play, depending on how hard they fall for it. Though maybe Pitt has picked up that we're not just running it every single first down anymore. 3rd and 9. Depending how much we get here, we might go for it on 4th down. I feel like we're going to have to, but we could just dive for the first. And let's see what Nat does whenever he's out there on the field. We're going to have a chance to get him a quick read. Unfortunately, though, the home field advantage threw everything off. I don't know why David Lynch didn't know what button he was, but he didn't. That's a great layered pass to OG. I think he is solidified. He should stay as tight end 1 for now. I know there's been a lot of drops. This is not good. We just got completely stuffed at the line. I think it's proven that we're not going to be able to run against some of these defenses. But let them stay pinched in. Let them try and stop our run up the middle. We're not giving it to Thorpe, obviously. Massey's got the speed to finish off the drive. And we really just need our stop against Pitt. First play to run to the outside. We're all over it. That broken tackle and spin is filthy. I mean, that is the entire difference maker there. We're over Eli Holstein. Who is this man? Who is this man? Bring him down! I promise, every single player that just got trucked by him is going to run an unfathomable amount at our next practice. I swear, if we get trucked again. Well, the goal is to keep the Panthers out of field goal range. I'm afraid we just haven't done that. We're going to need a sack or something if they're not going to get a field goal out of this drive. No way. That is honestly inexcusable. That has got to be an interception. It would have put us in an incredible spot, and they got the deep post. They also got him. No way he reached it across that. Okay, I actually like that they're going for it. We could get our stop here if we just guess the run. Perfect. I don't know how Parker was able to get free there, but it works out for us. The freshman defensive tackle making plays. The handoff, it's there. Big run coming from Jones. We have even forced Pitt to call a timeout. They are frazzled. And I gotta say, the way that corner was inching up, I almost think that Cam Locke is going to be so open there in the seam. He's open. He is open. We read the defense perfectly. Tie game. I never imagined that David Lynch would be able to do something like this for us. Pitt is going to respond. But back to what I was saying, there's nothing flashy about him. There is no stats that make him really stand out. He's just consistent. He's a winner, and that's what you need on your team. 2nd and long, wide receiver screen underneath. We're all over him. This is where that 3rd and 9 defense needs to come out. One guy to make a tackle, and he does. We have done it. We have done it again. We are in a position headed into the 4th quarter where we could win another game. That would be back-to-back. We're going to have to milk a lot of clock as we drive down the field here. I believe it is our best way to capitalize on the opportunity. the fact that we still got Deestroying Jones out there on the field, it is a little bit concerning. We've not seen our starter in a bit. Are they going to play this RPO? We've never run the play before. Honestly, I can't take that risk. Deestroying Jones also just bruised his hips, so he's not going to be in the game. And I'm not letting our third string running back go to work. All he is going to do is run a flat route. We got 3 slants on the field. One of these reads is going to be open. It wasn't that one. David Lynch has sold this whole game. I can't believe it. As much praise as he's gotten, that is just an inexcusable play there. Eli Holstein's not breaking a hit stick tackle like that. Pitt takes the lead up by 7 again. That whole turnover just comes back to not having our guys out there on the field, though. All we have is Deestroying Jones sometimes. He's just getting beaten up, though. Is Kenyon Massey fast? Is Kenyon Massey fast enough to pull off a big play here? I was going to look in his direction. Then I saw OG was wide open. We'll get Massey on this next one. We have used this RPO quite a bit, but that's because we can trust it. I guess we're about to get familiar with Thorpe. He is just a freshman. We moved him over from wide receiver, but he's about to get a 15-yard carry. I knew I wanted to use some depth at running back, but I did not want to use this much depth. He should not be in at this point in the game. We just don't have a way to get anybody else out there. Andy Arno. That is a name from last season. That is a name that we have rarely seen out there on the field. But we got Cam Lock underneath, and Cam locks at the 1. I'm really hoping that we can just do 4 straight quarterback sneaks, and one of them can result in a touchdown. Look at how much time is left on the clock, though. Pitt is going to get their opportunity to respond. David Lynch has made up for his mistake. That interception is still extremely inexcusable. But our offense only functions with him on the field. When he's not out there, we're never putting up 38 points in a game. That's the second time we've fallen for it. I mean, the biggest issue we have is they can just get 30 yards whenever they want. You never know when we're about to give up like a 30-yard play. We might even give up a touchdown here just with the way that some of our guys are out there. We cannot leave 24 open. Back to this type of defense, though. We're basically just going to run a Tampa 2. We're going to go underneath, try and guard routes like this. That's the whole purpose of me shading underneath. And then we just take away everything else with Humphreys. We got pressing going on. That could have been picked off the deflection. I've also decided to call a timeout on 3rd and 1. They came out looking like they were going to quarterback sneak. We're trying to fill that hole, and we do. With another timeout, assuming they hit this field goal, we're going to have 2.5 minutes to respond back. And it is still Thorpe in on the field. I got to see if there's any other way to get some of our starters back out. I have found it in settings. We have set it back to the default wear and tear settings, which is a miracle. It was under auto subs, but Thorpe is still out there, so I'm not sure how much it actually did. Massey is not even getting open here. That was my one read on the play. I guess we're just gonna have to go through the air and hope for the best. Not the best throw in the world, but it did what it needed to, and this is what got us that first down on the last drive. They were ready for it. Okay, we're gonna stay tight, and we are just going to hit 5-star Bryce Kroom. He's a route artist. He can get open in these situations. My biggest fear is Thorpe is just going to fumble the football away, and that's going to be the game against Pitt. It's not even that he can't pick up some decent runs for us, because he can. What a juke from the freshman. We better put some respect on Trendon Thorpe's name. I'm going to get him a halfback screen, too, after that last play. Though it's just not going to be there. There is still 75 seconds left in this one. We really could use a first down, and I'm not even sure about what I want to run here. We might just hand it off to Andy. We took it down to 34 seconds left. Andy, up the middle. We're up by 4. It doesn't even feel like this is the same UMass team. We have scored 45 points in the game. We are in flow state at the moment. And so when I thought this was going to be the last game of the night, I figured we'd lose. It isn't anymore. Enrique Cush covering the seam very well. Only option for Pitt to do with 20 seconds left is check it down. We just need to back everybody up, and we need to hang on to our lead. We have seen our defense get burnt really deep down the field. Looks like Pitt is just going to sling it. They're going to break one tackle. This kid is looking electric. But that doesn't matter if we tackle him anyway. Bailey backed up. Everybody backed up 20 yards. We are not taking any risks against the Panthers. Eli Holstein's going to have to throw it away. I cannot believe a second win might be on the horizon. We're just watching. He throws it on the run. No shot. Just knock it loose. We're fine. My heart dropped for a second there, but we just beat a top 6 team on the road. And I really thought it was over when David Lynch threw that interception, but he somehow led us back from it. Rushing-wise, everybody got their touches. I cannot believe that our 3 guys with touchdowns had the least amount of carries on the ground. It just lets me know that if you want to turn on Keep Fresh, you're welcome to do so, but I would leave it on normal. If Brandon Hood was on the field, we would have felt so much better. We're about to have a home game against number 5 BYU, so we still got tough teams coming. to our stadium. Clemson's also coming to our stadium. We still have to play at Death Valley. We have to go on the road at Connecticut. And just seeing Miami gain like double what we are on Emmanuel Droogsma, I can't imagine we're closing this 4-star out. With a little scouting on our opponent, I can see they got a 99 speed corner. Bear Bachmeyer is also a junior now, 88 overall. Not going to be fun to stop him, or Bo Jackson, who is transferred over from Ohio State. Looks like they don't have a receiver above 91 speed, though. That's nice. And they also had a slow tight end, 77 speed, lower overall, so maybe we can stop them through the air, just not on the ground. What's crazy is if we just came out strong in the first quarter, last week wouldn't have even come down to the wire. It would have been a blowout. I've been thinking about that a lot. We are playing our best football right now, and the winning streak might continue. If we could get to 3 games, we can't lose momentum. Not another kick return for a touchdown. Not another. I'm already not happy over there on the sideline for a reason. Most of the time when I give those up, it's because I'm sitting there texting, but I was locked in for that whole play. Still almost let them take it all the way back. I'm expecting a run here. Could we break up the pitch even? I was really hoping Bachmeyer just tossed it. We dove in case he did. They got the motion coming across 3rd and 5. We can probably pass commit. Might even need to watch the flat. Play action out there. You can't split the safeties, but man, that ball just went straight through our hands. What is the point of having a guy in a hard flat there if he can't even intercept that? We're lucky that they're deciding to punt. We actually held strong, and this is the exact start David Lynch and UMass needed. You already know Brandon Hood is always going to get this ball for our first carry. I'm just hoping he's out there on the field longer in this game. We're going to throw the slant as well. You could see the blitz coming from a mile away. That is a broken tackle leading to a touchdown potentially. We have to take that chance. And I really want this play to turn into something. I'm not sure it will because they continue to play out there, but it's a 3v1. I'm throwing the football. They just weren't letting us hit that RPO. We might as well wait, give it up to Bryce Kroom. He reached, and it was worth it. 6 on 5. Somebody was probably going to come off their block. But look at Cam Locke over in the seam. I can't really tell if that corner's going to play him or not. We're throwing it either way. And let's see if they bite at the play action. Looks like they might have. This is going to need to be a good catch, though, from OG. If David Lynch threw that ball a little bit harder, it wouldn't have been as contested. Come on. That's just a bad throw from him. We're throwing the football way too much. We're relying on Bryce Kroom again. And he's not going to be able to catch that ball, which means we got to lock in for our 50-yard field goal. The freshman, did he get enough on it? He did. Ben Nava is starting to be impressive. They're just going to go underneath, which I thought we would have had locked up. We were playing underneath, but it turns out we didn't. It's all good, though. 2nd and 10. Please throw it short. We're trying to lark them extremely hard here. Watching the flat. Go ahead. Throw it over there. Tackle with Humphreys. He broke 1, but they're not going to break 2. We're actually on one of the deep safeties. And Peyton Luttress just got in again. So the freshman really starting to emerge at this point in the season for us. We are literally having a night and day difference versus our first 6 games. I don't know what changed either because nothing changed for me. I feel like I'm playing the same way. Maybe it's just David Lynch is that much of a difference maker. He's going to have to be on this 3rd and long. No. I give up. It doesn't matter what OG's done throughout his career. That drop can't happen. If he outdevelops Nat in the future, he is welcome to take back his starting role, but it's not going to be this year. What a tackle. I continue to be impressed with Christian Shylins. There's going to be a flag on the plate. There was definitely PI. We were just getting caught up on one of the defenders, and it is what it is. It's really not going to affect us that much. We are going for the sack, and they try to thread it up the middle. That's the type of play we want to see Shylins make, but he can't be perfect. Underneath, Montrose, hit stick. Lamps, good defense from us. We are pass committing, so if they decide to run the football, well, we're about to get shredded there. Looks like it's going to be that same play that they've run a couple of times already, though. We're out. And we're just not seeing much variety from BYU. We're taking away the seam. They're sending it deep. This is where all the glaze for Shylins just goes away. Buddy, you cannot let that kid catch it on your head. What am I going to do about it, though? Am I going to bench him? I can't. We don't have any other options besides a converted wide receiver that's like a 50 overall. We legit have no cornerbacks on this team. We might hit Cam Locke immediately. He's going to make the aggressive catch and then drop it. So forget anything positive I said about this team. They're starting to really frustrate me. We just had to let Kenyon Massey run underneath. And I don't know what type of offense we're running right now. This is not the heavy run game that has worked out for us most of the year. I think we got a little bit too confident with David Lynch just throwing the football. We got a lot of blockers in there for no reason. Cutting it to the outside immediately takes away their entire purpose, though we should still be able to catch it. Once again, we're just starting off the game slow. We're not playing as well as we could, but neither is BYU running it straight up the gut against us. Bo Jackson isn't going to get far, and we're actually going to switch on to Tim Gold here. Can we bait Bear Bachmeier into a mistake? That's the idea. 3rd and 5. I think we're going to be all right, except all of those curls just sat above our zones. I think we got him. We took a gamble, we played underneath, and we shouldn't have taken a gamble, because even when we do play underneath, nobody seems capable of ever catching an interception or even being in the position to intercept it. Just want to note, BYU is in field goal range, by the way, and we're going to call a timeout. We want as much time on the clock to end this first half to score. We want to be able to run the football. No need to pass as much as we have. With a handoff to the left side, we're just going to cut it up. Should have done it a little bit sooner. Brandon Hood currently has 8 rushes for 17 yards. It's not been his day, but maybe those yards will come. It's going to have to be on the other side of the 2-minute timeout, though. We got lots of hitches out there on the field. There's a catch for Nat. Brian Nat just does stuff a little bit better than OG. He's also a better blocker. I saw his block there make a big difference. And I can't believe we have not mixed this play call in yet in this game. Whenever it pops up in coach suggestions, I can't help myself. I gotta go for the RPO underneath. That's the first time I think it's gotten us no yards. Just gonna run it, get the first, and look at the seams. Look at the seams. That's all that we're gonna be staring down. We're actually rolling out to the flat. We're gonna throw this one and just go for the catch with Cam Locke. I don't know what type of way Lynch is currently feeling, but he's taking a shot down the field, and Massey can't bring it in. David Lynch is so close to pulling off some really impressive stuff. Receiver's not doing him any favors, though. Detrell Jones gets this carry. He breaks one. He's at the 15. And this play does feel a little bit crazy. It might be too much going on, but we wanted to confuse BYU. We're going to get it out. We're going to see if Pedro can make him miss. And we might just have to accept that after this run, we're burning another timeout. I feel like we might not have done the best job of closing out some of these halves properly with touchdowns. Man-to-man coverage. Do not run into each other. To be fair, that is just bad play design. We're going to have to kick 3. At least we start the second half with the rock. It has been a defensive game so far. Very different than putting up as much as we did last week. And I think Kenyon Massey's got him beat. I really think they're going to bite at the run, and we're going to be able to take a shot to our speedster. Wait. BYU is a 99 speed corner. What are we doing? I just remembered the pregame scouting report. What's the point of me scouting if I'm not even going to remember the things I look at? That could have been an interception. Somebody in the comments is just losing their mind at me right now, thinking I'm just one of the dumbest people alive. It's okay, though. We have made it to this side of midfield. Nat is guarded in the flat. And we are literally putting 4 curl routes out there on the field with a halfback angle route. We'll see which one we decide to throw. I want to take our shot at Bryce Crewman. They played it underneath. They played it underneath. Dive. Come on. Come on, Lynch. Okay. We can hold him to a field goal. You know, he's a senior quarterback, so there's not many excuses for him. That throw just needed to be timed better, like they timed their curl. But at the same time, we could still prevent them from getting into the end zone. And how spin happy is number 15. I feel like that's all he is ever doing. Here we go. 3rd and goal. It's just going to be a carry. We should have come out in a heavier set. I thought that they were going to pass, so I didn't want to get too aggressive. We'll take this shot. Cam Locke, bring it in. Bring it in. Our offense isn't necessarily built for any of that so far. Probably should have just been running the football. But that's how you get stuck on a 3rd and 10 without much hope of converting. And they're in. You know, offensively, something isn't clicking this game. It's like we had those 2 good ones, and now we're going downhill. A lot of it has to do with Brandon Hood not having much success off the start. BYU is going to get in the end zone again. We have saved a lot of games recently. I have a feeling that this game is a little beyond saving. Just not going to happen. Maybe we get lucky with the double post. Maybe BYU continues to bite down. That would be an incredible throw. And BYU is so shocked by it, they called a timeout. They are about to get chewed out so hard. Massey has it in him to just get open and take that slant to the house. Not how it works, though. We're going to try and get out east-west runs. Better for Hood. Didn't work out great there, though, and let's see how this safety bites down. We got some interesting routes on the field. We got the deep post. It worked so well. We just needed half a second longer, and BYU was able to get in before that. If we're going to stay in it, we needed a 3rd and 2 stop. Now they're coming out in 5 wide, and we just can't bait that pick. It's okay, though. We're only about to find out that we're no longer bowl eligible. I don't think anybody expected us to make it there. And the only thing saving us would be an incredible 4th quarter comeback. I'm expecting a run on 3rd and 2. We were able to trip him up. It was a great defensive play, but we have to score a touchdown 3 times, something we've not done all game. First play, we're just going to look for our slant. Problem is, we're getting hit so soon we couldn't even get it out. At least we're going to have Nat here. As long as he's making catches like that, I'll be happy with him. He is going to stay being our new starting tight end. And does anybody want to guard Brian Knapp? We're even going to get him on a tight end screen. That's actually incredible play design there. I bet they think we're going to hand this one off as well, too, because we haven't run the ball very recently. That's a pick. It's another pick. They're just waiting on it. What's crazy, too, is we would never see the ball again in this game. They have taken almost all the clock off just driving down the field. It's been a very disheartening drive. Are we at least going to stop Bear Bachmeier here? No, I don't even want to talk about it. They scored one more at the end just to rub it in for no reason. And one thing I don't think I've touched on much this season is what we're doing with our coach build. Right now, as a recruiter, we can just scout some positions a little bit quicker, but that's it. I'm not sure how long I want to stick with it. I like the idea of talent developer. We have to have 2 players drafted in the first round, though, to ever reach it. We also have to win 4 bowl games to become a strategist, another area I like. So right now, I'm kind of just saving up skill points before we choose anything specifically. Miami won their visit week, so we should just pull our hours out of him, but we're not going to yet. Every other player that we want is basically locked in, and I'm just starting to scout to see what else is out there if we want to get some of these 2 stars. We still have a few games left on the schedule: Clemson, at LSU, and at UConn. This week, we head to Death Valley to face off against 95 overall quarterback CJ Carr. It is the highest overall quarterback we have played all season, and that should probably be all you need to know. If he throws more than 2 incompletions, I'm going to be surprised. I have a really bad feeling that this is just going to get ugly fast, but maybe we can hang in there. It'd be really nice if we got a stop on this first drive. But again, just glazing CJ Carr, he has not thrown a single interception. So do you really think his first one is going to be against us? Harlem Berry with a 16-yard carry, and this next one is also going for a lot. He seems super difficult to stop, but we brought everybody underneath. We're actually going to make the tackle. They just break it, and they break another. Our guys need to be on top of it. You can't have any mistakes like that. Ball is out of reach, and that missed tackle is on us. There. That was way too fast of a score. It looked effortless. And Brandon Hood just ran into a brick wall. Let's see. Are they going to guard the slant? They did, but there's nowhere else for him to go, resulting in a 3rd and 8 already. Off of the cut, we throw it. It looks like Massey's going to be short, but at least Kenyon Massey was able to get a little bit of separation. I think this punt is going to go pretty far down the field. We just need some resistance on our end. I don't think LSU even got to 2nd down on their first drive. They just dog walked us down the field. They're not going to run, though. We got a hard flat. And this is it. 3rd and 3. We just got to guard some of these deeper routes. Pick that off. Bailey could have intercepted it. We could have gotten some momentum there. It started our drive at midfield-ish, but now we're just going to need a decent return out of Jones. 96 speed. Doesn't look like it against him. We might be able to tell the difference when we face UConn, depending on how slow some of their guys are. That's really the game we have been looking forward to, especially since getting blown out by Boston College. Favorite RPO, Bryce Kroom, 1 yard. Making it 3rd and 10. Abdul Rahim Gladding, though. Is he going to win that route? He does. He breaks, splitting the safeties, and that puts us on the other side of midfield. Now we're patient. We go with Hood for 15, and the drive continues. Another run. Finally getting some momentum. I'm really curious to see if we can make a solid throw with Lynch, though the route we wanted was guarded. So I think it's time to bring out the triple slant. Maybe we get a streak there so we can go for a 1st down. It's never getting put onto the field, though. The home field advantage is just throwing us off. We better snap this before we get a flag. And can LSU get a hand on that? Once again, David Lynch is impressing. Cam Locke, when he's not dropping easy catches, he's impressing. We're now at the 3. And I gotta say, to go into the 2nd quarter in this position, it's going much better than most games typically do. LSU is going to make it really hard to run up the middle, though, which is why we went for the halfback toss. Hood takes it in, and LSU is just going to hand it off first play. We missed our tackle. What we're doing, though, is we're making sure our hard flats are down there. We're staying in that cover 2 look, even though we're coming out in cover 3. And I even got a quarterback spy out there for this 3rd and 2. We're actually going to let him drop back over the middle. It's a RPO. And I think they got it. If we could just get some bigger bodies in to make plays like this, I really wouldn't be too worried about the LSU offense. Ever since their first drive, it's not looked that impressive, though. A throw on the run works. CJ Carr getting all the time that he wants back there in the pocket, and I guess they're about to run it. I thought he was motioning over for a route. It cost me to pass commit. Things could have gone far worse than that. And we just continue to improve throughout the year. Another stop. This is it. It is 4th and 5. LSU really needs to convert, and they were able to find 12 in the end zone. The CJ Carr, Kyle Parker connection, just difficult for us to stop. Brandon Hood's a little bit of a challenge for the Tigers to stop, though. He's got 50 rushing yards on the day. I was hoping he could get a little bit more here, and he's actually going to spin around one defender, spin around another, setting up for the perfect play to Cam Locke. I'm sure they're about to bite down on the run. We're going to get it out to him. 6 more. We might even have Bryce Kroom immediately, depending on whether or not they drop back. Unfortunately, they did. We just got to get rid of it. It's 4-down territory, so I was willing to throw the football there. We got our hitch, but we're not getting much. Typically, when we run it straight up the middle, it doesn't work out well, but we have the numbers here, so it did. And I am determined to end this first half in a tie game. We're going to have our tight end. It's an awful throw. But I did just figure out what this play actually is. We're not trying to get this to Brian Knapp. We're actually trying to get it to Kenyon Massey, depending on if they have the numbers over there or not. We should have gone for a rack. It's okay, though. We'll go for it on 4th down. We can run for it on 3rd. Great play. I am truly not comfortable with kicking from this distance. It'd be a 52-yarder. I don't think Kenyon Massey is about to get open, so we're going to have to look to the other side of the field. And there's that pressure. It also said David Lynch just got injured. So we'll see how long he's out of the game for. Is LSU going to get in field goal range before the end of this half? With that completion, I'm afraid they might. I mean, they still have a minute to do so. They're going to break that tackle. And let's see. Does LSU pick up anything? I didn't see the check down coming. 2 broken tackles, a 3rd missed. Just get him out. We are getting the work given to us sometimes. But maybe Enrique Cush makes a play here. I thought we'd be able to bait CJ Carr. Instead, he just looks underneath. Another running back completion. Harlem Berry now has 47 receiving yards in the first half. Humphreys is not going to be able to take away the route to Kyle Parker. He thought that he was on a drag, but he wasn't. We're sending David Lynch out there, really injured. I don't know what the point in doing that is, or what the point is in giving LSU a free field goal to end this first half. That was one of the worst decisions we've made all season. In fact, they might get a touchdown. I mean, they really don't respect us because they are trying to. Seam isn't there, though. They got to throw it away. We're bringing everybody up. We're pressed. Then we got the hard flat. There's no way that LSU is going to be able to spike this ball before the rest of the first half runs out. So somehow we've been blessed. I really don't like that David Lynch is still out there on the field, though. He's probably about to hurt himself even further. We need to take him out. What a run from Hood. Welcome back, Zach Lawrence. This is not the time that he probably should return for us. Death Valley is currently the toughest stadium to play in the country, but he can get into a rhythm by hitting Brian Knapp. And he might be able to do it 2 times in a row. I figured LSU would get pretty aggressive here. We're able to find our tight end. They just think the run's coming every single time. For 2nd and 16 now, Brandon Hood getting locked up. So we're really going to need to get lucky for this 3rd and 15. And I just have to send up a prayer. Bryce Kroom, go for the aggressive catch. The 5-star does it. He isn't even that tall. There was no reason to throw up a 50-50 ball to him, but it worked. And this is what you call just being lucky. He wasn't getting any separation, but he turned around to find this football first and held on. I'm shocked, though. They were trying to review on whether or not he had possession. I thought this was so obvious. He got 2 feet down. This is an NFL catch. I think the lesson from that just has to be take some more shots, though LSU is taking a shot, and we are giving it up. What did I say about CJ Carr? He was probably going to have a generational performance. That is touchdown number 4. Halfback screen, though. It's going for a lot. Brandon Hood, 1 man to beat. Wait, there's a 2nd man to beat. I don't know why we spun twice. Clearly, though, LSU is struggling with our receivers. So we're going to continue to get ISO, and Cam Locke just didn't. He didn't get open there at all. I needed some separation from him. We pre-fired it. They brought a blitz, and when you bring a blitz, you need to have a quick read. Our blitz didn't get in there. We missed one. We got him now. But I think it's too late. CJ Carr now at 275 yards in this game. Still no interceptions. We wanted him to have his first, but he's playing so well. And if they go back to running, we're in trouble. Honestly, that's what teams should be doing more of against us, because we couldn't stop the run on that first drive. Then LSU just decided to rarely run. Chance at a pick. We don't get over fast enough. Kylan Billiott with his 3rd touchdown catch of the day. And we're just going to send it up to Bryce Kroom. Never mind. This is Kenyon Massey. Could have dropped it in his hands. Trailing by 21 now. We just got to get a little bit more aggressive. We're going to have Pedro, except he didn't want to catch the football there. It was a great read from Zach Lawrence. Zach Lawrence makes another good read. But it doesn't matter how solid the read is if you can't make the throw. Timing wasn't right. We might as well go for it. On 4th down, it felt like Cam Locke might have a step. It's out of reach. And from that moment, what else could we have done? They got a couple of field goals. They closed it out 41-14. And our only shot at getting a 4-star is completely ruined. Emmanuel Droogsma is going to commit to Miami. We're just going to take those 50 hours off of him and start putting them towards some of these 2-star prospects. I don't even think I want Connor LeClaire because JUCOs aren't much better than high school players when you recruit them. We got to scout them fully, though. So we're going to take off these other 10 hours. We're going to bring them over. He's going to have 84 speed. And it just feels like a waste of a roster spot. I guess we are going to need some depth, though. Clemson, 91 overall. It's our final game of the season against a ranked team before we get to finish it off against rivals UConn. It's our last home game of the year. We're facing a freshman receiver that is a 94 overall with 95 speed. They also still have Christopher Veniza, who has 91 speed, 87 overall. They're going to be able to run the football extremely well with Jaden Scott. But the word on the street as we get ready for this game is that he's actually injured. That's some of the best news we could have seen for our defense. And they're still just going to pull out the RPO. Okay, we got to be prepared for those. Clemson's gone 7-3 this season, so of all the teams that we faced, they might be one of the worst ones. That's at least what I'm hoping for. But on paper, you could tell that they had some really good guys, and this is what they're going to do to us. I've noticed that if you look at the top left part, our stands are not completely full. And it's not like they should be. We haven't had a very inspiring season of football, but it's something that we want to work on. They are just shredding us with these. If we can jump one correctly, though, it opens up the door for us to get some interceptions out of them. We just need to keep up offensively. It's nice having David Lynch back, but nowhere to go. And we're going to basically just have to stare down Cam Locke and hope that he's able to get open, because going underneath, we don't even catch it. You're telling me that Bryce Kroom can't bring that ball in, but he made a contested catch on the sideline for a touchdown in our last game at LSU. Just doesn't add up. The bounce is going to be sweet here. And I'm ready to play this with Enrique Kush. Throw him a pick six. It just had us frozen. He couldn't even move. That sure wasn't that encouraging, but it's there again. Tim Gold with the chance at a pick, and he just messed it up. This interception is coming, though. There's no way it isn't. They've run an RPO on every single play, basically. It's crazy. We know exactly what is coming, and they just don't care. They continue to go back to it. Looks like they're going to have the corner out here. And they're finally going away from the run pass option, which is even worse because we're getting destroyed. With back-to-back big plays to Iverson Hooks for like 56 total yards, we are now down 14-0. And the worst part is that has all happened before we have shown anything on offense. We were supposed to have a block there. Kenyon Massey clearly couldn't do his job. This is looking like a blitz. Are we going to get open? We're not. It's like some of these games are just speed runs to losses, though I do remember we started off against Pitt like this, and then we still came back. The difference, though, with this game is we have not shown anything on defense that even makes me feel like we stand a chance. Another missed tackle. They pick up the block. It's not even the end of the first quarter, dude. Maybe we're looking ahead to the UConn game. I sure hope so. We got to have at least something, a decent showing here. I'm not content with getting blown out like this. The run is just barely working for us, though, which is why we're trying to throw. It's just been a rough game for David Lynch. He's going to need to step up and split the seam there, which we do. When he's accurate, our offense isn't that bad. But that's a very big if, because he could put like a 40-yard throw on the dime and then the next play miss these close ones. 3rd and 10, we're just going to go underneath to a drag most likely, but it wasn't even open. And we're already down by 21 points. If we just kick a field goal, we're basically forfeiting since we can't get a defensive stop, which is why we're going for it. What a catch. That was such a positive to end the first quarter. It's about the only positive of the quarter. I want it to be known they popped up some of the stats from this game so far. Clemson has 206 passing yards. I mean, it's not looking great, but you have to have some hope. I'd actually like Bryce Kroom to get over on a comeback route, because if they give us man-to-man coverage, he's proven that he can get open. I just feel like he might have stepped out of bounds there. We actually would have a touchdown to him if we would have audible to a throw. I just felt like the defensive back would then be aware that he's leaving him wide open. We'll take the flag. With Clemson ideally trying to stack the box, they didn't do a great job of it. We were just going to pitch it to the outside and dive for 6. That sets up David Lynch to do 3 straight quarterback sneaks if needed. Though to adjust, Clemson called a timeout. If we were to hand this off, though, we'd probably lose a few yards. There's a fumble on the play. It worked for him. I just have no words. What else are we supposed to do? Their halfback screen gets out. We sent a blitz, so there's not many players down the field that are going to be able to even make a tackle. I was feeling better about this one, actually, for a second even, but Clemson's just working it down the field, and this is their big play, breaking multiple tackles like always. They've gotten like 4 straight first downs, and I can't imagine we get a stop. There we go, though, a sack, something positive. We'll see if they try and beat any of our zones deep. We can hit stick there to knock it out, and I am trusting our guys to just hang on. We're not going to get beat up the seam, but we did give up the shorter throw. It's going to be 24-0, still a 3-possession game. And let's at least end this first half strong, having a little bit of success. I really don't want to head into our game against UConn as cold as we are, though Cam Locke isn't even open here. He somehow catches it. So I'm really starting to feel like most of our success through the air just comes when we send up a prayer and then we eventually get lucky. We might even have Kenyon Massey in the end zone, but Clemson called a timeout before we could get off the play. That's actually really disappointing. That corner running over to that side of the field, I thought we were going to be able to throw it to the side. And now I'm starting to pick up on Clemson's strategy. They want the football back before the end of this first half. We have a million hitches out there on the field. We can't get in. So we're starting to get deja vu. Are the Tigers going to get another goal line stop? They might. On the bright side, Clemson did run out of timeouts, so we've been able to take the clock down to 18 seconds, and they had nobody over the center. So now we just need this 2-point conversion. Gonna look underneath at our drag. He was bumped. He falls short. Gotta love when that happens. Brian Nat doing us no favors at all. David Lynch doesn't even know what he's supposed to do in situations like that. We are going to have Nat on the next play, but I'm not sure how long we're just going to be able to air it out versus Clemson, which is why he just tried to run and he fumbles it for a second time. We have everybody backed up on 3rd and 4 as well because I accidentally pressed off the start. They might just toast us deep because we eventually did decide to press. Good tackle. I'm really not enjoying how we're performing, though, to end this season. I want to beat UConn. They're going for the deep touchdown. We get over there with Humphreys. And that was so close to us making a huge play. They got the post. It has been a long season for us. It's not getting much better. But you know what? We did discover an offense that I'm excited to run next year, especially with more talent out there on the field. Massey makes the catch. Clemson cornerback thought he had the interception, but we got it just above his head. We're going to pitch this out to Brandon Hood. And Brandon Hood showing off his speed. There is no giving up with this team. It stinks that it's taken us as long as it has to come alive in this game. I thought we were about to lurk there. But I will say, I think this has been a little bit closer than what the score shows as well. We've been competitive. We've just had drives like the one on the 1-yard line where we couldn't get in. And those are situations that we have to execute on. 3rd and 7, an opportunity to get the Tigers off of the field. We're watching everything underneath. There is still some fight from the Minutemen. UMass trying to keep it closer, but ultimately we are going to need to score it a little bit quicker, just like we did on that last drive. And what do you do? Seriously, what do you do when you know that you're not going to get much time to get the ball out? And if you do, it could be an interception because it's most likely just going to be inaccurate. It's just really hard to get those stops that you're looking for. We could still prevent Clemson from getting that touchdown. We got to watch that route over the middle, though. Way too much time. And it's another 4th quarter that's way better off just getting moved past from. This entire season, though, we looked forward to 2 main games. The one against Boston College that got out of hand really quick, and then our game against UConn. You know how it went if you watched season 1. We've got to get revenge. At least there's not as much of a pressure on us now to beat the Huskies since we picked up a couple wins we shouldn't have. But still, they've gone 2-9 just like us. I know that we can compete with this team. Shamar Porter is their best player at quarterback, just an 81 overall. They got a 90 speed running back. And some of the Huskies' best players are on their special teams. This is a team that is within our range of potentially beating. It would be a major milestone for Massachusetts, mainly because I had no expectations heading into this season. I was thinking there was no way we were saving them. At least with a couple wins, it feels like we're building towards something for the following year. And UConn is up in the series 40-38. The goal is to get that closer because by the end of this rebuild series, I want to have the better all-time record. First play, run on the ground for 9. Nigel Tubbs is this kid's name, and we were ready to shoot in there and just stop him. But Rodney Tisdale Jr. made the correct read, and this is 3 plays. Already potentially going to get them into the end zone. What are we doing? If we can't beat UConn, it really won't make any sense that we were able to beat both USC and Pittsburgh. But we ran into this against Boston College, another program that I thought we'd be able to take down. They crushed us, so we're looking to keep running. So far, it's clear to me that our blocks are holding up extremely well for Brandon Hood. We cut this one to the outside. We were actually patient for a second there, just waiting to get that block. And with run after run, I figured we'd be able to successfully pull out play action and complete this. Turns out there was no reason to complicate things, though. We're not running anywhere. And Cam Lock is my main read on 3rd and 10. We might be able to get Brian Nat open, but Cam Lock is the one we threw to. Although our defense did not look great, we have been able to respond pretty well to what the Huskies did. Just need to finish it off now. We're watching to see if this is going to be a cover 2 look. We could actually get this out to Brian Nat reaching for the first. And against some of those ranked opponents, we were not ever going to win this battle up front, but I believe we can do that against UConn, which is why we just ran it up the middle. Just 6 more yards now. It says that we have the option to throw it, but I don't think we did. I will say I'm pretty uncomfortable with the idea of not being able to see Kenyon Massey over there and just throwing it, hoping our blocks hold up. But it did. He fights in. And we better stop the run right off the rip if we want to get UConn off of the field. We tried to put in some pressure. We could get this interception, but we knocked it out. I was just hoping for a little bit more there. and we're not guarding him. I feel like so far the Huskies are adapting pretty well to our defense. They're literally completing almost every single pass, but it's not a good throw. This is where we press out of Tampa 2. They're not going to run the football. They're actually just going to go underneath, but the cut upfield is going to get UConn the biggest play of the game. Tubbs goes all the way. Nigel Tubbs has been the hardest player on the field to stop, and I thought that guy was going to be Brandon Hood. It's on him to turn this halfback screen into a huge gain to open up the second quarter. He cuts back. He waits on that block. Not getting past that defender. But the junior's still putting in some work. They're probably going to bite down, trying to stop the run here. We just are taking this shot down the field to Cam Locke. It's a 50-50 ball that he can't catch. Even though he wasn't open, we have noticed that those aggressive catches have been some of our best plays. We had to take the chance. I feel like they're about to go with some man-to-man coverage on third down. So we're going to throw it to Brian Nat. And his drop has put us in an awful spot. It's 4th and 4. We feel like it's time to just go for it. We are going to have Brandon Hood, fortunately, for the first. But if we didn't convert there, things could have gotten out of hand quick. We're actually just going to find Cam Locke underneath. And we're about to find out if Connecticut can stop the halfback toss. Our blocks didn't necessarily get there on number 18, but this feels like a spot where we should be able to run the football on third down, or we could hit Brian Nat very quick for the first. I just know that the longer the game goes on for, the less plays like this are going to work. Connecticut will adapt. There, they weren't even biting on the tight end. So it's 3rd and 15. Honestly, the worst thing David Lynch could do on this play is just force it. If it's not there, we're going to have to go down. And UConn got the stop that they were looking for. They also almost held us to nothing. Ben Nava just snuck that ball in. We're ready to stop the run. One thing about Nigel Tubbs is he shouldn't be breaking as many tackles as some of the running backs that we've been facing. And this is just another big 3rd and 5. We're watching underneath. They're going to hit us above those zones. It's a good move from number 4. And I'm starting to think we got to just let UConn complete these short passes and wrap up instead, because every time that we aren't dropping back into coverage like this, we just give it up. With Perry Moorhead getting that interception, we can end this first half with a lead. Problem is, we still need to turn something upfield, and we got the blockers for this. It's about to be a 3rd and 1. I feel like with the bunch set so wide out there, we should be able to hit Kroom again. If they play this, though, we're in trouble. We get him, and eventually UConn will adapt. We might be able to get off one more big play before they do, though. And that's exactly what has happened here. Cam Locke running underneath it. I'm really loving the season that he's having for us. We're also going to have Kenyon Massey underneath. Using his speed, he takes off for the first down. So now we can start to run the football. We're in the red zone. We still have 45 seconds to score. This run, we were a little hesitant on. I'm not a big fan of that, but now we let Brandon Hood take it to the outside, juke back for 5, and potentially getting the football on this play as well. Just needs to make the catch, which he does. There is still 15 seconds left. We got 2 timeouts. I didn't think they'd expect us to run it. On a lot of first downs, we've been bringing out play action. We didn't get them there with the pass, and the QB sneak ends the drive. We're going to finish this half up 17-14. That was the perfect ending we were looking for to start this second half. Brandon Hood getting 20. This is the game he rushed for almost 250 yards in last year, and he still lost. Look at how open Kroom is. Look at how open Kroom is. What is that throw? He caught that? The 5-star is starting to bring out some incredible catches. We're declining this, and I'm wondering if he's about to toast that corner again. We might just look back in his direction 2 times in a row. We actually have a touchdown to Massey, but it's not going to get there in time. And it was really hard to tell, but he might have caught that ball off of the deflection or it hit the ground. We shouldn't really be watching this so much before we challenge it. His feet are going to be out of bounds, but that went into his hands. And when I slow it down, it looks kind of dumb because he's like clenching his hands like he's got the football in them, but he doesn't. Eventually, it just glitches straight in there. There is a foot in bounds, but one is also on the line. Although I think I know what the outcome's going to be, I will always take a touchdown if they're willing to give it to us. We'll see if the refs end up being biased. And they didn't, so it's 2nd and 10. We're handing it off. We're getting nothing. Really not ideal, but we're going to pick up our pass protection and drop the football. They are recommending that we punt it too, which is why we're just trying to pin UConn at the 5. Maybe we should have picked up like 5 yards, then gone for it on a 4th and 6 or so. Just didn't occur that way. Looks like we're going to have all of that box. And is UConn going to run the football? They're not. They're going to take a drag underneath. It's going to be 3rd and 3, which is where we typically just give up like a 15-yard gain. So we're not playing hard flats this time around. The hit got him short. A 3-and-out is a really big deal. You can see that the upper deck of basically this entire stadium is not here. But can you blame them? I don't care that it's a rivalry. It's between 2 2-9 programs. And we're honestly lucky to just have the fans in the stadium that we currently do. Brandon Hood, he's going to go for the hurdle. It was a little bit out there, but I'll take that risk. We're also going to have the immediate crosser to Cam Law. And I think the freshman receiver is just getting better and better. We potentially could have thrown that one, but the run was clearly open, which sets us up for a 1st and goal. Slant was there. David did not see it. But we have brought out Deestroying Jones to do what he does best. Use his speed to just go to the east, west sides of the field, easily taking it in. And I know we haven't used him that much, but since he's a senior, we are going to miss him next year. In scenarios like that, he adds a whole other dimension that we're able to pull out once we get inside the red zone. And honestly, all I'm looking to do on this drive is just prevent UConn from scoring super quick. We want them to work for it. The more time that runs off the clock, the better. It's going to be a read option that we just can't adjust to soon enough. And that's why we're going to go back to our cover 3 look instead of going in Tampa 2. Another thing I've been wanting to mix in, though, is playing this hard flat underneath. It can keep them second guessing. We're going to have a run, and I don't think we're getting out there to make that tackle, but we can prevent the touchdown eventually. Nigel Tubbs has truly been a star. RPO, easy tackle for Enrique Cush. I think the former 4-star prospect is enjoying his time at Massachusetts. We have made it to the 4th quarter. We have the biggest lead we've had all year. And the Huskies are going to come out throwing the football. Short little hit to Nigel, but he is just so dangerous once he brings it in, and that is another example of it. They're looking for the pitch. It actually worked. He breaks a tackle. We push him into the end zone. But you know what? We still have a lead. Deestroying Jones with a kick return potentially. This could be our first one of the series, and he is gone. That is why I had him back there at returner. We can celebrate our way in. It's very ironic that happened against the Huskies. So we are right back in the position we were just a few minutes ago. If UConn scores, it's okay, but we want this drive to take as long as possible. And it's going to take one play. It is going to take one play. This one kid has been so hard to hold. Nigel Tubbs is going crazy. It feels like exactly what Brandon Hood went through last season. But you know what? He's looking a little bit tired. So we get Deestroying Jones the next carry. It's not going anywhere. He's been hot in this game, so I thought it might. Kenyon Massey is someone we are going to be looking for. Or we could just float it into the hands of Cam Law. The ball was in the air for way too long for me to feel comfortable, but if that's what it takes for David Lynch to help us move the chains, then we're going to work with it. We got to stop running to the outside. Say what you want about Brandon Hood. He is not as fast, but his running back vision is just on a whole other level. Looks like he's going to be able to cut this one up for 10. And this might be like the 3rd time we've run this play, but we're going to pull it out. We're going to throw it, and we're going to be able to bring it in and get that first. We have reached the point in the game where we actually got to start chewing some clock because we could end it with a couple more first downs. Connecticut's going to get very aggressive, though, when it comes to stopping the run. I don't even think we're in field goal range yet, and that's a really big issue. On 3rd and 12, dropping back into a cover 3. It's off target. No, this is not how we lose to the Huskies. We're not even going to be able to catch them with Bryce Kroom. We are going to have to march down the field and score a touchdown to win. I've put so much faith into this team. I've put so much faith into David Lynch, but he really just sold this game in the worst way possible. This is what happens when you have a 68 overall at quarterback. We're going to just have to let Brandon Hood work. There's no other answer other than that. If we're going to throw the football, it's got to be super short like we just did to Bryce Kroom. And we need another 64 yards to win this game. Brandon Hood wants it more than anybody else. I don't know how he even has anything left in the tank still, but he does. And let's see how prepared they are for our RPO. Cam Locke makes the catch. It's actually an incredible play as he cuts upfield, and Cam Locke is going to go all the way. The freshman receiver continues to be our best player on this team. The biggest issue we might run into, though, is we still have to get a defensive stop, and we lurked him with Humphreys. Humphreys, another freshman making a play. There is absolutely nothing Connecticut can do because they have one timeout left. We just got to run out the clock. You literally could not have asked for a more perfect ending to get our first win over our rival. And that's going to bring the series to UConn only having a 40-39 lead. We could tie things up as soon as next year. Nigel Tubbs still won player of the game, but he deserved it. He went off against us. And now for my favorite part of every season, getting through the offseason, where we get to determine what our team looks like for next year. There are players that are going to come back and players that are going to be gone. Like David Lynch, he's graduating. Nothing we can do about it. Zach Lawrence might decide to transfer too since he got benched. But Brandon Hood, even though he rushed for a lot less yards than he did the year prior, 500 yards less, basically. He will be returning, though all the guys behind him seem to have a reason that they want to transfer away. As for our receivers, it doesn't surprise me Cam Locke was our number one. Naheem Abdul-Rahim Glading, he just got benched mid-season. I was not happy with the drops he had. Looking back, it might have been a little bit of an overreaction, but ever since we made him wide receiver 4, we won 3 games, 3 sacks out of Peyton Luttress as well. There's some freshmen making an impact there, but I don't like we only had 4 interceptions all season. We're also going to see what other types of coaches we can bring in here. It seems a little counterintuitive. The fact that we won a few games and they're getting fired doesn't make much sense. But truthfully, we can't have 3 recruiters in the building. It's a waste of resources when we're limited on the prospects we can go after. It's not like a player of Arch Manning's caliber is ever going to be interested in coming to our program. In fact, like I said, we weren't even able to close out on the 4-star free safety. And I think what makes things even worse is we lost on a 2-star to Nick Harris. He rather would be at Navy. As for the 10 players we have signed so far, 2 of them are quarterbacks. Clifton is actually impact development. I just don't like his 80 throw power. I would love to see star dev out of one of these guys, but even the gym has just impact. Normal dev on Glenn Adams. We did not get blessed in any way. Their transfer portal could change some things though. I've also been looking for a strategist. Since it takes 4 bowl games to unlock this, we're better off just getting them as our coordinators. He has to want the job more than he wants the same job at Rutgers though, and our choices for defensive coordinators are much worse. To my surprise, we actually signed Chris Creighton though, so we do have one coach on our coaching staff to be excited about. I cannot say the same about Jason Jones. Literally, all he does for us is he's going to make it so we can scout some positions a little bit quicker, and some of our transfers are slightly more interested off the start, but they have to already have interest in the first place. Meanwhile, with offensive coordinator Chris Creighton, we got tier 2, so visits are going to have a bigger impact on quarterbacks, halfbacks, tight ends, wide receivers, and offensive linemen. That'll just continue to get better over time too, but there's a lot of players, even Elijah Petro, who we moved from wide receiver to corner, that want to transfer away. Low overalls that I'm not too worried about. We just weren't able to convince any of them to return, and we have to say goodbye to some really impactful players like David Lynch and Detrell Jones. I will say though, it's nice that we're not having too much roster turnover yet. There were some players that are going to want to transfer next year, or even Montrose that didn't enter the portal despite saying he would. So that is something to look out for. We have to go after players strictly from our pipeline states though, and Elijah Newby is one of those. I know he is a beast. I will say, I have some very good news whenever it comes to recruiting new quarterbacks as well, because out of the Northeast region, there are actually 4 different freshman 3-star transfers that would be interested. We only have 600 hours to work with since our school grades aren't that good, so I don't want to spend any hours scouting them. I also don't want to put hours on like 5 different QBs, but it's got me all excited because after another week, we are guaranteed to get 2 of these guys. We're going to miss out on Brad Russo. Maybe we made the wrong decision there. I don't think we made the wrong decision on Puglisi. He's a junior. But then it became time to scout just out of curiosity. All of them have 79 speed. They all have about the same throw power too. They're like the same player. In week 3, all I really did was just set up visits for all the players that we were in competition for. A lot of these transfers, we don't have any schools fighting us, but for the ones that we do, we have visits set up. We're already in first place, and the commits are going to start coming in. For the players that I knew we weren't going to win on, we've already taken them off of our board. Another thing we don't even have to worry about is hard selling, because our school grades still are not good enough. So we just had to hope that we had the better pipeline, that other schools didn't have a good enough hard sell. We were even competing for that 2-star right guard, but he's a freshman, so he could make an impact. So could Mitch John. You really just don't have any idea until some of these players get into the building. In total, we had 28 signings in this class, and what I am most excited for is the 2 dev traits on these quarterbacks. It looks like we're going to get normal, and we're going to get impact on Von Meekins. There are some disappointments too. Elijah Newby is going to be a star, but I knew that. He's been a good transfer for me in some other rebuilds. He's just a senior, so we have him for 1 year. Mitch John has normal though, and so does this freshman gadget receiver that I thought was going to be way better than this. We still didn't have the hours to scout him, so his stats aren't going to show up there. Our recruiting class though, it was ranked number 47th in the country. This is lower than what we had last season, but I feel like the quality in it is a little bit better, especially since we got other quarterback options. It truly is difficult only recruiting out of the Northeast, and both of these 2-star athletes care about playing time. They're most likely just going to transfer away because I don't see them getting onto the field for us. Besides that, there wasn't really moving any players around to different positions. What I'm looking forward to the most though is these dev trade upgrades. It's the training results. Turns out the only dev trade upgrade we saw was on DJ McClary. Larry. He was a transfer coming in with 90 speed. He's going to make for an incredible user as an 84 overall linebacker. And this team is just a little bit better than the team before them. Brandon Hood, an 87 overall. I'm not sure if he's going to be drafted. Elijah Newby, an 86. They're just short of that. But look at the quarterback progression. This is what weirds me out the most. Zach Lawrence doesn't go up anything. Von Meekins just gets 2. Mohamed Egboa gets nothing. And I've already decided, since Vaughn is going to be coming in as a freshman using his red shirt from last year, he is 6'4", impact development. He has no caps on his accuracy. This is our quarterback of the future. 91 throw power is something we've not gotten to use yet. Also 82 speed. It's very exciting, though. I've noted there are positions on this team where our future isn't looking as bright. Luckily, Cam Locke has jumped up to an 82 overall. He's going to be our #1 receiver. Bryce Kroom, the former 5-star, a 76. And at tight end, Brian Knapp might not have the starting role anymore. 84 speed on transfer, Donald Van Manen. He's a junior, so we'll have him for 2 more years like all our other tight ends. His route running could still get so much better, though. Even though his catching is maxed out, he could also become a better blocker. Just something I'm thinking about, and I was really hoping one of my main users from this season, Darian Humphreys, our free safety, was going to jump up a little bit more in overall, but he only went up +1. His zone coverage is 78, man coverage 77, 89 speed. He still has 3 years left of college, plenty of room to grow. Only 5 players already want to transfer out by the end of next year. And this team is still far from special. It's still going to be so hard to win games next year, facing off against 10 top 25 opponents, but we have made it to a 74 overall. These are all of our best players. And I'm having an absolute blast filming this series so far. It's been a real challenge. I hope you all are enjoying it as much as I have. Until episode 3 comes out, though, you're just gonna have to watch some of my other content.